Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome back to my channel, Naughty Love Movement. It's your host, Nikki, bringing you the latest and trending topics. And I vlog my life. I'm going to give people a chance to load up in the room. Y'all see the title, Storytime, Storytime, Storytime. Yes. Hope everybody's doing well this morning. It's pretty cloudy this morning. The weather is weird. Don't know how to dress. One day it feel like fall coming in. Next day, summer is back. So the weather is a little bipolar these days on the East Coast. Oh, hey, Latoya. Good morning, sis. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I'm going to give people a chance to load up in the room because I just jumped on here. I'm going to drop this intro. Make sure y'all hitting that like button. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Leave comments. Share my content. Donations are appreciated. Follow us on all our different social media platforms. Y'all know how it go. Support the channel. Support the channel. Support the channel. I'll be right back. Good morning, good morning, good morning, my queens. Good morning, Latoya. Good morning, Kim. How y'all feeling today? So, I dropped the link just in case anybody wants to come up and share. Because a lot of people have approached me. Like, I got my own story, my own battle with fibroids. And it's more common than a lot of people think. But I know when I was going through it, it has to be about, one say my journey was about 10 years ago, 9 or 10 years ago. But fibroids, they definitely affect Black women a lot more. Like, it's more prominent in us. And how my OBG explained it at first back in the day, they thought it was just an ailment that was prone in Black women. But through the years, they started getting more and more data. And a lot of women suffer with fibroids, unfortunately. For those of you who don't know, fibroids is like a cluster of cells in your uterus that buckles. They don't know what causes it. They don't know. But it's, whew. Give me a second, guys, because I suffered with my fibroids for 4 years, and it was a journey. It affected a lot in my life. And so finally, I decided to move forward with the surgery. That wasn't an easy decision, you know. So I felt like it was fitting that we take a walk this morning. Good morning, everybody that's joining. Exactly, Toya. See? Toya said, girl, I had 4 of them. Yeah, let me tell you something. It is painful. More than anything, it's painful. So My journey with fibroids began when I first got diagnosed. It was crazy because it was like I had got married. Then that, like within a week or so of me getting married, that's when I decided to go to the doctor to find out what's going on. Now, let me tell you, like, I always had like bad menstrual cycles, like to the point where I would be damn near passed out and stuff like that. And I have to tell you, like, there's a history of this in my family, but nobody really never talked about it. My mother had her journey. A lot of my cousins in Philly had their journey and things like that. So I went to the doctor and I explained to her what was going on, because what was happening is I would get my period, my cycle, and I would get it like every 2 weeks. It wasn't even like a full 28-day cycle. And I didn't understand why. First, we thought I was pregnant. Maybe that's why it was happening. Nope. So I decided to go to the doctor, and I was scared. Because, like, what if it's cancer? What if it's, you never know. You never know. Or whatever. So I went to the doctor. She did an ultrasound. And that's when she explained to me. We going to the garden, by the way, y'all. I figured that was fitting for this conversation. So she explained to me, that's when she told me, like, they thought it was just an ailment that only affected African American women. But through years, they found out it's a woman's disease. You know what I mean? So she explained to me what my options were at that point. She said, you can have them removed, but just know it's a chance they're going to come back. It's always a chance for them to come back. So, I was just married and stuff like that. I want to do whatever's going to resolve the issue so we can get back to our normal, because it affects everything, your sex life, everything. You never know when you're going to be bleeding. Sometimes you be intimate with your partner, that'll cause them to act up or whatever, and you start bleeding for no reason or whatever. So being that we was just married, my husband at the time, he was like, well, I want us to be able to have a baby. So I made the decision at that point to have the surgery to have them removed, right? So I had them removed, and I was okay for about, I want to say 3 months. Then they came back, and they came back more aggressive. So when they came back, I was like kind of depressed because I don't know, I couldn't perform my wifely duties, so to speak, the way I wanted to and stuff like that. And during that time, my husband did cheat on me and stuff. And that's the last thing I needed, because I was already feeling inadequate. And rather than him be a supportive husband and be by my side, he was selfish and went and did his business elsewhere. So, I mean, that like fibroids affect everything, especially if you're married. And a lot of times men don't understand what you're going through. Well, mine's continuously got progressive, and I was trying to live with it and stuff like that. And then it started affecting my really, really affecting my quality of life to the point like when my cycle would come on, I would be bedridden, wrapped in towels and stuff like that. So, during that time, my diet was important. So I ate a lot of liver. I know people don't like liver, but I needed it to keep my blood count together. Hey, Kim, good morning.
Hey, good morning.
How are you today?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. We going up to the garden this morning. It's so pretty. See?
Oh, yeah, that's beautiful. Oh, my God, it is so beautiful.
Yeah, this
I
is
love
Freeman.
flowers.
Yeah, this is Freeman Garment Gardens.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God, it's so beautiful. I know I'll be bringing me a bag with me because I'll be pinching stuff. I'll be pinching me some stuff, okay?
Exactly. It's
Especially
cute
the
up in.
succulents.
Yep, it's cute up in here. It's cute up
It
in here.
is. I'm telling you.
So,
Hmm.
so yeah, I'm talking about my journey with fibroids and stuff like that.
Do you still have them?
Nah, I had the
Okay.
surgery.
Are you there?
Uh huh.
Yeah,
So
I was.
how I ultimately ended up having the surgery. Good morning. Um, so I had went down to see my niece,
Uh-huh.
and I had my daughter and her two friends with me.
Mhm.
And I got there. It's crazy because before I left, because it was a long drive, I made sure like I was situated down there,
Mhm.
and stuff like that. I got to my niece's house, and then all of a sudden, I went to the bathroom, and I was standing in a pool of blood,
Mm, yeah.
and
Mhm.
I couldn't even get out the bathroom. My niece had to run, go buy me a whole new outfit, everything, or
Mm.
whatever. So like after that point, I felt bad because the kids was like wondering, where you at? I'm stuck in the bathroom. They don't understand why. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So, my niece, she took care of me. And so then I said, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and go. Just get back home or whatever. But
Mhm.
I wanted to get the kids something to eat. So
Right.
I stopped at Wendy's and all the kids is with me. We in the Wendy's. And I'm standing in Wendy's and it happened again. I'm standing in a whole pool of blood. It was so embarrassing. And this day and age, everybody pulling out their phone and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And the manager of the Wendy's was like, stop, put your phones away. This lady needs help. And she said, ma'am, you want me to call an ambulance or something? And I said, ma'am, I just need you to give me some tissue so I could clean up my mess and I could go about my business. You know what I mean? So at that point, I said, something's got to give. Like, I can't even go anywhere anymore. Like, I was
Mhm.
soaked through everything. Like, it was just crazy, the amount of blood that I lost so fast, So my doctor, she said, it's time for you to consider a more permanent option at this point, And at this point, I don't want to just remove them now because they come back
Mhm.
more aggressive or whatever. So
Mhm.
I went and got a second, third, fourth opinion because this decision was hard for me. Like, I was married at the time. And then it's something about like giving up your uterus, right? It felt like it's a part
Mhm.
of your woman. So it was hard for me to make the decision. So then my cousins from Philly was calling me, sharing their stories, like, you gonna feel so much better. Just do it. And so I decided on a doctor. It was a black woman
Mhm.
that did my surgery and stuff like that. And Kim, I have to tell you, I was worried for no reason.
Mhm.
That surgery was so simple. They barely cut me. Cause now they don't cut you a lot no more. You know what I mean? They just do
Right,
little
they don't.
incision.
Mhm.
When I say as soon as I got out that hospital, I may have slept for maybe about 3 or 4 hours.
Mhm.
I immediately felt better. I
Mhm.
immediately felt better, and I just felt free And then it just dawned on me, like, girl, you won't get no period no more.
I know, right?
I say, girl, Kill, you
Hmm.
can't tell me nothing. I was free balling everywhere, right? Because I had I had just went to this through this horrible journey where I was in
Hmm.
practically diapers,
Oh, I
basically.
understand. I have been through that too, my own self, so I know exactly what you mean. A
Oh
lot of my
yeah.
friends have. One of my friends, she had to get herself a hysterectomy because she actually passed out because of loss of blood. But
Mm-hmm.
I did. That happened to me. I mean, a tampon and a pad, I would still bleed through.
Yep.
And one time I was doing kickboxing. No, it was Zumba at Powerhouse Gym, and it was this lady. She had an accent. I didn't know what she was saying to me, but she was like, "Kimberly, Kimberly, your pity odds on, your pity odds on." And then I was just looking at her like, and I just kept, doing the Zumba, kicking my leg up and all the rest of that. She was like, "Kimberly, Kimberly, your period is on." So I said, "My period is on." So I'm just kicking because, and then there's mirrors in front of us. And I kicked, it's like somebody had just took a bucket of red paint and put it in there. So I left and I ran into the room and got my stuff, to the locker room, got my stuff and everything. And then I did go to get a hysterectomy, but I had read so much on it, you know what I mean? There was at the time that I was going to get one, they had came out with some new solutions to it too. So you didn't have to get a hysterectomy because they were saying that even in later years, your uterus gives you hormones, you know what I mean? So what they could do is because what happens is that these fibroids, they suck up a lot of your blood. So what they could do is put a polymer in where the root of the fibroid was. So that's basically polymer is really like putting like a plastic substance in there to kind of like, seal it. So
Mm-hmm.
it can't get any more blood. It cuts out the blood flow to you. You know what I mean? Because I was
Mm-hmm.
really afraid of surgery and stuff like that. So, but then I said, well, no, I'm just gonna go ahead and get a hysterectomy. So I went there and I fell asleep waiting. And the doctor was delayed because the other hysterectomy was taking a little bit longer, so he was delayed. So the anesthesiologist came through and he peeped in. Boy, he was fine too. But anyway, I was like, so anyway, so then, but he was looking at me strange, I guess, because I was snoring when I was sleeping. I guess he was like, oh, this broad got any breathing obstructions or whatever. So I don't know what it was, but that made my nerves bad. Okay. So after he
Mm-hmm.
left, I got up and I went to the nurse station. I was like, take all this stuff off me. She was like, where you going, Miss Tucker? I said, I'm leaving up out of here. So she was like, you leaving? I said, yeah. She said, you not going to get surgery? I said, no. She said,
Mm-hmm.
well, what's your doctor going? What the doctor going? I said, let me tell you something. This is my body. I don't give a damn about the doctor. I said, you just take these things off me. She said, well, I'm going to take it off, but here's your doctor right now. I said, I ain't got no problem telling him he was just getting out of surgery. And he said that he didn't want to do any surgery on anybody that didn't want it. I said, good, well, then we on the same page. I was like, So my mother was pissed because I got up at 5 o'clock in the morning to take me there at 6 o'clock in the morning. I was like, come on, Mom, we had breakfast. But I say all that to say, I did so much research on it. What I found out too is that it feeds off of blood supply. So that's why when our periods are so much heavier and we're in so much pain, because that's when they're really, it's like the monkey drinking wine up in there,
Yeah.
and when you go on menopause though, and it was
It
hard to
shrinks them.
right, and it
Mm-hmm.
was hard to determine if I was in perimenopause, but something in my spirit kept telling me that I was going through perimenopause and menopause wasn't that far and I'd be okay. And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, because
And
the
then,
menopause shrinks them.
yeah, it does because there's no blood supply. You're not having a period anymore. That's why it
Mm-hmm.
shrinks it. So it's not just that the menopause shrinks it, it's because you're not having a menstrual cycle anymore. So it can't feed off of that blood. So after that, I didn't have any more. And, it's just like dust up in there now. So last time I had one, I think that they were just minuscule. They couldn't even see them. You know what I mean? They had shrunk so much. And so
Mm-hmm.
along with my ovaries, because they were like dust too. So, but it is a really serious thing. It's very painful. You're so tired.
Mm-hmm.
because you have no energy, just like depleted, and then nobody understands that, and especially men. And when you say that about your ex-husband and stuff like that, men don't understand it because first they don't have anything that they don't have to deal with any of that stuff. They find the only thing they refer as our menstrual cycle is as an inconvenience to them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And so anything that is associated with it is an inconvenience to them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Sad but true.
Sad but true. Sad but true. And when I went through the surgery the first time, he really like he was there at the doctor with me. She explained everything to him, but he was just too selfish to even
Right,
get it.
because that's what I'm saying. That it's an inconvenience to them. They only think about how it's going to inconvenience them.
Yep.
Okay, so
But
nothing
a
else.
lot of people went through it. Cynthia Bailey on the Real Housewives of Atlanta talked about
Hmm.
her journey, and I remember Peter was with her, and only thing he could think about is himself. And I felt
Right.
so bad for her in that moment. But also Candy suffers with them. Toya
Hmm.
Toya Wright Johnson, Little Wayne's
Hmm.
first wife, now married to Red Rushing.
Giselle on Real Housewives of Potomac. Remember, she said the same thing too.
Exactly. So I'm glad these ladies are speaking out loud about it because more people suffer with this than you know. It's
Hmm.
more common than you think. You know what I mean? And it affects a lot. If like Kim said, it affects your energy level. You're tired all the time. You just don't feel yourself. You know what I mean? You just feel weak because your all your energy is going into that fibroid. It's sucking it.
Yeah.
Like you know how they have blood sucking leeches? That's how fibroids are.
And then, it's just the pathology of it and biology of it, rather. Your blood carries oxygen. You need oxygen to be able to get energy to your cells and everything else. And if you're not losing all that blood, you're not getting all that, okay? And it takes a lot
Mm-hmm.
out of you. So, my friend
Mm-hmm.
who passed out actually had to have a transfusion. So you're losing, your life's liquid.
Exactly. Latoya Washington says she suffered. She had 4 of them things, period, on 1,000. She had to have several iron IV infusion. And that's important to keep your iron up. And that's what
Hmm.
so I had to take iron, not only iron supplements, but I would eat liver at least once out of the day. And that I think that's what saved me from getting a blood transfusion.
Hmm.
And yes, Latoya, you definitely are moody and irritable because it's painful.
You are moody. Yeah, you is moody.
You definitely moody. And Sin City from Nola said inconvenience for me is an inconvenience for us. Yes, in a normal, healthy relationship, that is the case. But unfortunately, a lot of these men are self-absorbed. And all they care about is getting a nut. Okay?
Yeah, they can't think past that.
They can't think past that. Like, oh, you're not gonna be able to give
Mm-mm,
mm.
no, they can't think past that, girl.
Now
Not at all.
when I had the second surgery, he was a lot more understanding.
Mm-hmm.
He was a lot more understanding because he seen how I was really, really suffering, how I
Mm-hmm.
was this bedridden. And I just really couldn't go nowhere. I just only could sit in the bed with a diaper. I mean, I was bleeding through everything. I even stopped using tampons because it was just pointless.
Oh,
I
but
would
not only that, I noticed that I had to stop using tampons too, and that's when I really had. That's what made me decide to go to the doctor because when I used the tampons, you already cramp like crazy, but then
mm-hmm,
it made them cramps almost like I could not function. I couldn't operate. The pain was so intense then from the cramps because it was almost
exactly.
like the blood couldn't flow right.
Yeah, the pain, yo, that pain. I think that pain was worse than labor.
Yeah. Well, I don't know because I never had labor pain, but I'm talking about yeah.
Nah, look, I went through both my labors drug only. I ain't had no epidural, nothing. I breathed through it. I said it's gonna be over. That's what I focus on. It's gonna be over. This is not gonna be forever. Yeah, I
Oh,
have a
you
high
a G,
tolerance.
honey. You a G.
No, I have a high tolerance for pain. So for me to say like I was in pain for fibroids, I was bent over pain.
Oh yeah.
So it was it was a journey, but a lot of women suffer with it, and I wanted to have like an open conversation about it because it does affect the life a lot. It affects your sex life, everything. Like it's hard to plan trips to go away because you never know when your cycle is going to be on. Don't nobody want to be dealing with all that on vacation.
No, no, not on
So yeah,
vacation.
exactly. So yeah, nah, I want.
And it's embarrassing when you bleed out like that.
Yeah, Latoya, I was happy I gave them my oven too. Hey, Feds. Hey, Shay B. Hey, learning to love myself. But the day I had the surgery, guys, I was a free woman. You couldn't tell me nothing. I don't think I wore panties for like a month.
Girl, I'm gonna hang up the phone on you. You so silly. But I know how you feel. It does have a certain freedom. Now, I didn't have the surgery, but when I went on menopause, though, I felt like really free, and I was really free to be able to enjoy myself sexually. And I hate that, I mean, this might be too TMI, but I just wanted to know what it would be like to be able to have sexual experiences without the looming thought of getting pregnant all the damn time. So I could just
Ooh.
do it with freely and with abandon. You know what I mean?
Uh huh. Uh huh.
Yeah.
It's just like um it's like a weight lifted off your shoulders or whatever. Because it got to the point where I would be intimate with my husband, and he would cause them to, he would irritate them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah, like it would cause them to bleed. Like, damn, I can't even have sex without wondering, feeling like I'm gonna go into my cycle or whatever. So
Yeah. And then you had to cycle more often then too, because it felt like you had it more often because for some reason with those fibroids, you would continue to bleed out well after your period would normally end before you had fibroids. So it felt like I only had 2 weeks a lot of times without my period.
yeah, yeah. I just started not even having
This
a
city's so
20.
crazy.
If I love feds. Oh, you have very bad period pains.
Oh
I mean,
no, Feds.
you may want to go to your doctor and check that out, because that's how mine started, and then
Mm-hmm.
ultimately was fibroids. They got a lot more options now, though.
They do.
Yeah, but yeah, Latoya, I was happy to give my oven up. I was done. I was over it, and my doctor basically like, look, you got two kids, because right before that second surgery, you guys, I had met a young woman. She was we was out, and something just drove me to her, like, or whatever, her energy and stuff like that. And I said, you look so sad and stuff like that. And she started telling me her fibroid story. And she said, you know what? My decision is so hard because I want kids. I haven't had kids yet. She's like, I'm one of those ones that waited. And I said, that's when it made me feel better about my decision. Because it's just like, at least you got your two kids. At least I was able to bear children. And in that instance, I was just happy that I did start young. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Since that I had to be off every month because I had to be medicated. Since City said after the surgery, I retrieved your good old black book. That's right.
Now
But it was
tell me
free,
this
and
though.
it felt good that I couldn't get pregnant no more. I loved it.
Did you all who had the surgery, did you all have to take hormones?
Who me? I didn't have to. They did put me on. That was one of the first treatments they put me on. The birth
Okay.
control pill.
Oh, because they had hormones in it?
Exactly, to try to
Okay.
like regulate it, but
Uh-huh.
that it didn't really work for me.
And then?
It didn't really work for me. It just didn't work for me.
Oh, okay. Did it make you sick or something or what?
I mean, it just
Why did you say it
didn't.
didn't work?
It didn't regulate my cycle.
But I'm talking about after you had your surgery.
Oh,
Because you didn't
after
have no
I.
cycle after you had the surgery, did
Oh no
so in other
no.
words, when they take all that stuff, well, did they take off your ovaries and your uterus?
Oh, I had a partial hysterectomy.
Oh, okay, okay. So they just took your uterus, and you had your.
Yeah,
No, they took
that's
your. What
so
did they take?
that's so they wouldn't I wouldn't go into menopause.
Oh,
So
that's
they
why I'm asking. Yeah, because I was wondering how did that, do? Because that's the other thing I was afraid of, having to take hormones.
no, I still got one ovary.
Okay, cool. Well, that was
Um,
good.
but they cut the uterus and this and that or whatever. But no, before I had the surgery, they tried to put me on birth control to try to regulate my periods.
Hmm. Yeah, that rarely works.
Oh, okay. Latoya said she still have her ovaries.
Okay, yeah, because that's what they're doing now, so you don't have to take the hormones. Because the hormones, the reason why I was asking, because the hormones can be dangerous in itself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, I'm not a big medication person, period.
Hmm.
That's when my doctor tried to put me on high blood pressure medication. I worked out, I changed my diet because I'm not taking no pills.
Hmm.
Sometimes medication cause more problems than it is worth. You know what I
That's
mean?
true.
So and then it leads to other things. One
That's
pill
true.
leads to another pill to another pill. And
That's true.
I'm just a natural girl. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? I believe in natural home remedies. When I get a cold, I'm making tea with garlic, honey, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm just natural.
That's good.
Oh my God, Sin, I'm so sorry. That's now Sin saying she had ovarian cancer.
Oh no, Sin, I did not know that. Oh no, she did say that. No, wait a minute, I did know that. I did know that because she went through an ordeal.
Wow, Sin, please, if you want to hit the link and come up and tell your testimony, we'd love to hear from you. Latoya said it took her 6 months after surgery for my hormones to get back on track.
Yeah, that's what I
Child,
was thinking. That's what I was trying to find out about the hormone thing. I wonder what happened with what was the symptoms she was going through.
I know. And she
That's
said
what I
no
wanted to find out for those who had to deal with the hormone issue.
yeah, she said no cramps prior to children. I always had bad periods
I
ever
did
since
too,
I
but
got it.
when I got pregnant, when I had gave delivery to my daughter, they stopped and they didn't stop back until I got fibroids.
You see? Uh-huh. I was just like, woo. But not too long after the second surgery, me and my husband separated. Mm-hmm. I was over and I said, girl, you got your snatch back. Fuck him. Oh, you had no sex drive. That it does look, it affects all of that. Sometimes I know now recently, like because I have the one ovary, I have to take a lot of supplements like vitamin E. I drink a lot of kombucha because like it doesn't get moist like it used to. You know what I mean? Because I have the one ovary, so I got to take a lot of supplements to make that happen.
Oh well, that's even when you go through menopause, you get that dryness.
Exactly, but that's what lube is for.
I was gonna say that, or you know, the oral.
Exactly. The licky licky
Yeah,
always
they need to get to work. They got a job to do first
get
off.
down there, get down there, and
Yeah.
and this is clean. I ain't got all that extra stuff going on.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're so silly. But you're right. I know what you mean.
So it's gonna be a good time down there.
Hmm. For all.
Oh, she said hers got worse. No dryness. But these are the things women go through. You know what I mean? And I think it's important that we have open conversation about it, because it does affect a lot. It affects your sex drive. You got to be more creative and stuff like that to keep your partner satisfied or whatever. Because when you're on, you're on.
Hmm.
When you're on, you're on. There's no getting around it or whatever. But after a while, I gave up on him because I ain't know where he was dipping. So I was like, that shit ain't going in my mouth.
That's right.
But
That's right, girl.
oh, Toya said after 6 months, that snapping turtle was back. Hello,
Not
okay.
the snapper. The snapper.
The snapper gonna catch you, baby. The snapper gonna
Hmm.
catch you,
Put him
or
in the
whatever,
gridlock. In the vice grip.
or whatever. And let's just say, after I separated from my husband, I had a great time. Okay, Stella got her groove back. All right.
Okay, Stella.
Stella got her groove back. I felt free. I felt revived. I felt like a new woman. And my ex husband started going crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Because you missing all this good now. See,
Mm-hmm.
should have been patient and waited for me. You should have been patient and waited for me, or whatever. But I
Mm-hmm.
appreciate you, Kim, coming up and sharing this platform with me because Sin, she kind of encouraged me to talk about it or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm transparent. I'm not shy about. Is it who is this in front of my house? Is this
Who's
finally
that?
the? Because we supposed to have some solar panels installed, and we trying to figure out where they at.
Ah,
Because them solar panels save you a lot of money.
they do, honey. And the government trying to figure out how to charge us for the sun. So we need to get them, if you can, get them like do like you doing right now.
Yeah, and the important thing is to lease them. Don't buy them.
Why say that?
Because when you buy them, you're responsible. No, that's not them. They're here for somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
You're responsible for whatever happens to your roof. You know what I'm saying?
Um,
But when you lease them, they're responsible for whatever happens to your roof.
I got you. Mm-hmm. But all of them you don't even have to put on your roof. Some of them they can put other places too.
Uh-huh. So we waiting for them to come out and install. Because
Mm-hmm.
it's more of us in the house now. So PSENG gonna go up
Right.
or whatever. But they really said they could take my mom bill from $300 down to $60, which is awesome.
Yeah. I believe that because I watch a lot of off gridders. I don't know why, but I want to always know how to be able to live off the earth because if we think about how dependent we are on everything, but those people have really low to no bills at all, no utility bills at all.
Exactly. What, what's this? Sin said, do not lie to yourself or your doctor. Absolutely. I mean, that's key with your healthcare. You can't be lying about your healthcare. How they gonna come up with a good diagnosis if you're lying? Oh my gosh. That's so true, sir. I was ready to come back home. That garden is so pretty
It is.
when it's bloomed. We trying to get our yard together. Hopefully we can have a barbecue.
Oh yeah, I love your sunroom out there. I really love that.
Yeah, it really helps me get through the workday because let me tell you, I'm so sick and tired of this job.
Is that where you working at out of your sunroom?
Uh-huh.
Oh, good. I imagine it
Uh-huh.
does. And that vitamin D coming through there, you need that.
Absolutely. It just kind of helped me get through the day and it make me feel like I'm just outside.
Right. Oh,
Because
you
people,
like outside.
yeah, because people don't know, like, working from home, it has a lot of benefits, but it has its downfalls too. You get sick of being home all the time.
Hmm.
Although I'm grateful I could do it. Look, Latoya said two of mine were the size of cantaloupes and the other two
Oh,
were the size of
no.
lemons. Wow. And that's what, like,
No.
when you guys see women with, a gut, you know what I'm saying? A
Or the
lot of
extended
times
belly. Yeah.
that's fibroids. Like a lot of times
Hmm.
pe- women can't help that they got a little pouch. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Oh, people do live in denial with their feminine captivity. Just know that things happen as women, and it's up to us to be on top of our healthcare. Like, you gotta make sure you go get your yearly appointments or every 6 months, however it works for your plan. So because early detection is everything.
Yeah, but then these insurances are changing. Last one I had, they told me they don't need to see me anymore. My insurance won't cover any more pap smears. Now I'm still gonna be living, and I still got a cootie chopper, so it don't get checked unless I pay for it.
That's crazy. But didn't Obama change that to where they not supposed to be able to do that? Like our OBG appointments was supposed to be free.
My insurance won't cover it anymore. They said so I could get one, but it's gonna be out of pocket. But ain't
What?
that a trip though? That's what I'm saying. You still living, and you still could get cervical cancer. I still got cervix. You still can get uterine cancer. I still, you know
That's
what I mean?
nuts.
It
That's
is.
crazy. Yo, the insurance companies are the biggest gangsters in this country.
I know.
Trust me when I tell you.
Hmm. They
It
got. I've been
wasn't
working with that.
it wasn't until I got this job that I really, really understood what insurance was all about.
Hmm.
See, yep, Latoya said, Kim, you still need to be checked for cervical cancer. That's
I know,
crazy.
but I'm just going to pay it for out of my pocket. That's a shame, though.
Yeah.
I'm gonna write them about that, but it ain't gonna make a difference. But I'm just gonna say, you know what I mean?
No, I say something about it.
Absolutely. But these insurances are crazy. My company switched their insurance on us mid-season, and they said they weren't going to offer because I work for an insurance company, but it's Medicare, and but they use their abilities to create a commercial insurance for us. So anyway, they stopped in the middle year, and we sent this over to Blue Cross, and they said nothing would change. So I have some mobility issues, and when I went to go get my shots in my knees, they won't cover it. Did it exception, asked for an exception, still won't cover it. Now we got to do an appeal. Still ain't heard back from them. And the appeal was supposed to be 72 hours. It's been 72 hours plus another 72 hours.
I gotta check
It's
my
just
mom
terrible.
plan in because my mom got Blue Cross Blue Shield Federal.
Well, that's what we went to is Blue Cross, but we did it in the middle of the year. So you remember they negotiated stuff. So they said what they had on this plan, you should have on that plan. I don't know what's going on. You know what I mean? And then rumor has it is that our company is getting ready to let go of all the captive agents, which I'm on, and send everybody to brokerage, which they have done in throughout the nation in some areas that weren't getting high sales. So that might be it too. You know what I mean? A part of the change.
Woo! Shay B, you pay $1,100 a month for healthcare. Woo!
And that's just the premium. It's expensive.
That's not even the deductibles.
No, that's her premium.
It's expensive. That's the only reason why I stay with my company for the
But she
benefits.
probably got good coverage for that though.
Yeah, I have Cigna. I have Cigna. That is crazy, Shay.
Yeah, but no matter what insurance you have, it's about the provisions they give you within that insurance.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
It's a whole project for me when I have to choose benefits. Cause like I have to sit there and compare the deductibles, what's worth it.
The
Come on,
deductibles, the maximum out of pocket, the MOOP, and all the rest of that stuff.
a lot of people don't understand that stuff.
Co-pays, co-insurances.
Exactly. And
They usually didn't even have all that.
yep. And see a lot of sometimes I take advantage of like the flex spending account.
Hmm.
I had because my company giving you so much money or whatever towards the account and stuff like that. Sometimes I take advantage of that. Take
Hmm.
advantage of your flex spending because it can help kind of offset some of those expenses.
Yeah, that's what I do. I have an HSA account.
Yep, HSA. That's a health savings account.
Hmm.
That's good for unexpected medical expenses and everything.
Yeah, I use it for my acupuncture, and then I use it now. So like, since they're not paying for my shots, I just said that forget it. I pay for my own shots, my own self. You know what I mean?
Oh, Shay B saying it's because she's self employed. That's why yeah, you paying for your own
Yeah.
policy. Good morning, Erin. Good morning. Thank you for joining.
But even though she's self-employed, there's other people who are self-employed. Their premiums aren't that high either. She's got, you know what I mean? Because you can get them. Because I've been on marketplace, you can get them, at all different prices. But it all depends on how much provision and coverage you want. You know what I mean? Like anything in life,
Hmm.
you get what you pay for. So she must have some decent coverage.
Exactly. And that's what like that's what holds me back from going completely independent with my business. It's because of the benefits.
Mm-hmm.
Erin says, "Good morning, everybody."
Good
Latoya said,
morning.
"Y'all, I'm sitting in the car, and I wish Waldo would take his to work already."
Who's Waldo?
I don't know who Waldo is.
Who's Waldo, Latoya?
So yeah, you guys, for those of you who are just joining, we had a story time where I talked about my journey in my battle with fibroids. And then Kim came up and shared her story. If anybody has a fibroid battle that they want to share with us, please feel free to come up because a lot of women suffer with this ailment. And we
Is the
talked
link
about,
still there?
yeah, the link should still be there. If y'all don't see the link, let me know. Oh, she said soon to be ex husband. Chill.
Oh, Lordy B, Latoya, now you don't got some tea for us. Oh no, Lordy B, and it's
Be
hot.
careful. Be careful. We talked about how divorce is a dangerous time. Hold on, somebody coming up. Wait. I don't see y'all no more. Whoever was there, come back, come back. Yeah, be careful, Latoya, because you know emotions are high during divorce. And it's dangerous for women. Y'all want to see my brother version of yard work? He called himself doing the yard yesterday.
Okay,
This is his version of yard work.
wait a minute. Let me spread my
He
screen open.
he cut stuff down
And he
and
leaves
leaves.
there. Hmm.
That's his version.
That's almost like that weightlifting commercial. I pick things up and I put them down.
He does. He never.
He
He
cuts
never.
things up and then he lets them go down.
He never ever completes the task. And look, I thought he cleaned up the other branches. Nope, he just put them on the side of the house. He just shift junk around. That's what he do.
Mm-mm-mm.
He just shift stuff around. And you know what? I don't say nothing, but he always trying to tell me what to do. You need to figure out what you doing, sir.
You can mind your
Oh,
business.
we got another guest. Hey, Latoya, sis. What?
Hey,
Hey,
What's good?
Latoya.
hey, Kimberly. Girl, I'm sitting in this car. Usually, I take my time when I drop my son off at school. I go to the McDonald's to get my little frappe. I go through town to try to take my time. Be like, okay, by the time I get home, Waldo gonna be gone. I pulled up, Waldo still here. Lord bless it, Jesus. Somebody come get Waldo and tell him to go to work.
Fix it, Jesus. Fix it.
Mm-hmm.
Lord, just go to work, Waldo. Shoot.
Yes.
Exactly. Exactly.
Him, I call him Waldo because he has uh 5, 6 different personalities, and I've named all of them, and I know who they are, when they come in, when they may or may not pop up. And Waldo is the one that you just look at like, do you really think what you said made sense?
Oh,
Okay.
Did
Okay.
child.
you not reread your
Did you
text
say that?
message before you sent it? Like Waldo be the one that just come at you out the blue sky with something that you be like, what are you talking about?
Where do you come from,
Like,
Dad? Yeah.
Or did you really say that out loud? Like, did
right. Like, for an example, um, he had left the house like me, like, cause King synopsis, like we're going through a divorce. We've only been married 3 years. We were married one
I'm
year before he
sorry.
started showing his true colors. He
Mhm.
waited until I got sick and was almost immobile before he started to show his true colors. So he waited until I was
Uh,
down and dependent on him, and then he just started to kick me further down. Like, bruh,
uh,
I'm gonna get well, and I'm not gonna forget, and I
mhm,
didn't. So, that's what you proceeded to do. But then, as I started to get well, and after I had my spine surgery, I guess he thought after the spine surgery everything was going to miraculously go back to the way it was. No,
mhm,
sir. The surgery wasn't a problem. My
No.
spine
mhm,
wasn't a problem. You were the problem. So that's when I started seeing all of the narcissistic characteristics of him.
mhm.
And
Mm.
Waldo was just the perfect name for him because one day he left out of the house. We hadn't said bye anything. He waited till he left and then started texting me like this PowerPoint as if he was going to present something at school or something. And I'm like, do you know who you texting? Like,
Right.
what are you talking about?
This.
You
Uh-huh.
know those people who try to sound so smart but they sound so dumb?
Oh,
Yeah.
child.
That's
Yeah.
him. Like he tried to use these big words that don't even fit in the
He
context of the
don't even know.
conversation that you're
He don't
trying to
even know
use
what
it
they
in.
mean. He don't even.
No.
Yeah.
So
And
that's
they don't even know how
Waldo.
illiterate they sound when they do that.
Right.
Mm.
That's Waldo. But then he also have a side of him that act like radio.
Uh-uh.
Oh.
Radio Raheem?
Radio Cuba Gooden Jr. radio.
Oh
Oh.
no.
Yes, he
Oh.
has a side of him that act like radio. And it just be like, am I being punked?
Look,
Yeah.
Mind you, I'm 40. He's 53, almost 54.
Mm-hmm.
let me tell you, I'm finding that the older men are just as bad as the young guys. Like,
If not
Mm-hmm.
worse, because they're old, they're set in their ways, and they think that his mind frame is, I've been this way all my life. Why would I change now? Bruh, just because you've been that way all your life don't mean it was the right way. Like you
Amen.
don't believe in growth, you don't believe in expansion. Like you stuck in your ways, and you feel like you either deal with it or move on. But see, in this
Mm-hmm.
situation, you're married, so you can't just move on to the next
yeah, it's
because
hard.
you
Mm-hmm.
have a marriage. So instead of doing that, you check out mentally, physically, emotionally. That's how you check out or whatever. And it's like, okay, bro, I got you. Like, yeah, you got me at a point of disadvantage where I'm kind of sort of dependent on you. That's cool. But since you want to have it that way, well, I'm solely dependent on you, then I'm gonna be solely dependent on you. I don't pay not now bill.
Hey, that's look. That's the least you could do is provide.
Don't
Okay.
pay not now bill. I'm gonna act like I'm just so damsel in distress. I need you for everything while I continue to stack my own paper in the
That's
Girl,
background.
you
right.
so smart. See, and that's what they
A
don't
girl with a
understand either.
plan. A
They don't
girl with.
understand that when they messing with us, they really are no match because women are very cunning. And we are planners and plotters. And we will lay in the
Mm-hmm.
cut on your tail and we will execute our plan. And that's why it always makes me tickle when I hear a man say, I ain't even know nothing was wrong with us. And then she just up like, oh no, there were signs, dude, but you ignored them. Okay. Because if you know a
Yes.
woman, see, y'all don't pay attention to women being women because you too busy concentrating on yourself and being selfish. But if you were to look outside of yourself, you would have seen all them signs and you would have known.
He knows who he is and he knows how he is because every relationship he's been in, every female has said the same thing. But you turn around and
But if
want to
he's a
make it seem
narcissist,
like
he's
it's
not
the
going to accept
female.
it, is
No,
he?
it's not the female, it's you. You're the common denominator. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like, Sin City, I can't charge all them rent, girl, because they probably wouldn't pay.
Man, I love Tish. She is so
I
funny.
love saying
I would
shit.
not pay girl Maurice. Maurice is that ooh. He that one that I done killed in my head 542 times, and I'm spread his body parts all over
Mhm.
Adams Clark County. That's Maurice. Now Maurice, see, okay, Kim, my husband is law enforcement, right? But
Mm-hmm.
Oh
I
Lord.
say that to say, you know how men have beards, like for women, as you know, to mask who they really are. His uniform is his beard, because deep down he's really a coward. So he has the uniform on to make him seem like he's big and bad, and he's just this. Oh, you know, you better not mess with me, bro. You a prom.
Ah,
Right.
Use a whole mush mouth. Like, bro, you're a coward. And
ah.
so you use that power to your advantage when you can. But the thing about it is you you getting older. You can't maneuver the way you used to. You have to crank
Mhm.
that knee before you get out of bed every morning because if not, it ain't gonna work. And so you starting to show your slip because you're starting to unravel because now you know how narcissists they be on this smear campaign where they go out and try to make themselves seem like the victim and make you seem
Yeah.
like you're the bad
Mhm.
person.
Yeah.
But see,
Mhm.
that may work. That may have worked with him with somebody different. See, he's originally from Chicago. Oh, he going to work, y'all. Blessed
Yeah.
Jesus. Thank the Lord.
I
I'm
said,
if
fix it,
there is a God.
Jesus.
Y'all, I'm finna turn the camera on just for this so y'all can see it. Can I turn it around? I can't turn it around. Dang, I
Just,
can't turn it around.
just
Hold
turn
on,
the
let me
phone
turn it.
around.
You see it.
Oh
You
yeah,
see
there you go. There you go, getting into it.
Have a nice day.
Or not.
Y'all, this is tea time Thursday.
Yeah. Tea time Thursday.
I love y'all.
Let me
But
tell you, because I was married to a narc, and you know what? The best thing I did was get silent on him, because
what?
that way
Girl, that gray rock and that no contact, baby. Let me tell you something. I was sitting in the bed one day and I was like, when I tell y'all this man, honest to God, nearly had me. I ain't know nearly. Like I was on the verge of having a nervous breakdown. Like, I swear to God, because
Mm-hmm.
I got pregnant with my oldest son when I was 17, had him when I was 18. I was 5 months pregnant when I walked across that stage. I moved out when I was 19, got my own place. So I have been on my own, been independent my whole entire life. Had my second son when I was 25. Luckily, me and his dad was together for 6.5 years and we raised him together, but then we parted ways, but he's still a very significant father in his life. So, but
Mm-hmm.
I have been totally dependent on myself. I had nobody that I could go to if I couldn't pay a bill or if I got in a bind. No, I had to figure it out on my own because my mom was struggling too. She waited till I was 14 to have another child, and then waited till I was 16 to have one more. Oh, I can't be out here busting it open like that because that's what I'm trying to do, girl.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then gonna get mad at me and say, we don't need no more babies in this house. Ma, I had them other two. Them yours.
Them yours.
Mm-hmm.
So I've never been dependent on anybody. I've always taken care of my kids by myself. So he knew that me having to be dependent on somebody else and not able to work, not able to do anything, that affected my mental. And then we had just been married a year. Like we got married March 21st, 2020. I stopped working and went out on medical leave March 2nd of 2021.
Mm.
Mm.
1 year.
Yes. And we was in counseling and everything. Like he went to counseling and the therapist, I didn't even have to say nothing to her. His first conversation with her, she knew what he was because he started like questioning her credentials to make sure she qualified.
That's how my therapy. Oh, my my
Nothing.
my ex husband thought he was going to diagnose the therapist when we went in there, and he like you couldn't tell him nothing, and he just took it as a joke. But you know what? I kept going for myself.
Me too. I kept going. He went to 2 sessions. The first session, she just let us talk to see how we communicate with each other and how we act when she's not around. And then the second visit was her giving her feedback. Well, when it got around to him, he didn't want to hear that feedback you telling him. It's like, no, how dare you critique me or do anything like that. So I told her after that appointment, I said, he's not coming back, right? And she was like, you for real? Oh yeah. And bro ain't been back since.
And they because they narcissists. They feel like they got it all figured out. They do no wrong, and everything is everybody else's fault. They did nothing to contribute to the breakdown of the relationship at all. And that's like my ex husband. He never liked to take accountability for anything, and then he thought he could buy his way out of everything. Like I don't need you. I don't need you to buy me nothing. I
Yes.
got my own stuff. Like
And
you know
see,
what I mean?
that's him. He feels as though since he's now, and I told him this to him face. I said, "You're an excellent provider. You have that one great quality about you, bro. But you ain't got nothing else to bring to the table. So you coming to the table." in a deficit, in a negative, because I can take care of myself. So what else can you give me that I can't give myself? Nothing.
But I think 50 Cent said it best. Believe it or not, 50 Cent, he was like, a woman, you need to take care of her emotion. That's what we need more than anything.
Exactly, exactly. And that's the part he couldn't understand. I was like, what I need from you doesn't cost you a dime. It don't cost you a dime, but he couldn't get that. But what I was going to before he walked outside, what he failed is that he had to went. He's originally from Chicago. He's been down here like 20, 25 years or whatever. But I'm born and raised here in Athens, Georgia. So you can't come to where I grew up and think you're gonna try to scandalize my name and get away with it. Bro, you flew here. I grew here. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
These my
nothing like that.
people. Regardless of what you say, it may not be directly to somebody that I know, but that person knows somebody that I know, and everything he said has always came back to me. I never went looking for it, never asked, none of that. It just comes back to me, and people are looking at him crazy like this ain't even the Toya like that we know, like that don't even sound right. And then they'll go back to where you were just singing her praises like last year. Now all of a sudden she's this horrible person. And then he went to another person and they were like, but your wife just had spine surgery. Like she's literally been on medical leave for 2 years. Like, bro, what are you complaining about? You need to be there supporting her. So see, he's not getting them flying monkeys out there that he's trying to recruit.
Mm-hmm.
And now you don't start it unraveling. So now you don't know what to do because you're exposing yourself. You showing your slip. And I didn't
Mm-hmm.
have to do nothing.
Mm.
Like, yeah, I go around and I pay all the bills. You supposed to. You want cookie? You want a cookie for that?
Say that again. You supposed, that's what my husband used to be like.
Oh,
I got you this, I got you that. That's what you supposed to do, sir. You the husband. You're providing.
right. You want to be the head. You want to be the leader. But if I go tell you to change the filters in the AC unit, you look at me like I'm crazy because you don't even know how to do it. Now, bruh,
Exactly.
Mm.
Somebody trying to come in. Yeah, no, these narcissists are a piece of work. They a handful to deal with. But you know what? That my ex husband learned me really well, and I know the signs right away. And
yes,
I don't have time, and that's where my comment came from. Like, because my mom always used to be like, they older, they a piece of crap too. Like I ain't got time. Like
they are.
this older gentleman, he said, "Let me buy you a drink," and he's. I could tell by the way he was talking to me, he was a narcissist. I hate liars. I hate this, and I don't do that, and I
Oh,
don't do
yeah.
this. I don't believe in mental health, and I believe in just taking accountability for what goes on in your life. I said, well, some people process different, and I said, this ain't gonna work, like, cause you guys
Uh-uh.
or whatever. And then on the tail end of that, he like, oh, I said, well, do you live alone? Well, I take care of my kids and their mother. They live in my house and I live in the basement. I said, have a nice day. He said, what's wrong? I said, sir, I'm good. Well, you could call me anytime. I was like, look, you a nice
Why?
guy. I said, you a nice guy, but I do not like your circumstances. And for you to even have the audacity to expect for me to want to accept that, you already are devaluing me.
Right, because
Mm-hmm.
they find they prey on the weak, um, to recruit. They prey on the weak, and then they approach people with this falsified persona of who they are. And once I really dived deep into like narcissism and the characteristics and how they operate and what they do, and it's like y'all approach people being somebody that you're not, because if you was to approach them being your real self, they wouldn't give you the time of day.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Exactly.
So you
Exactly.
come in being fake and phony.
Oh no, but these men got the mentality. Oh, if I tell her straight up what it is, she just gonna roll with it. Not me. Not me.
Uh-uh. Uh-uh.
Because
Uh-uh.
if I
I
ain't first,
value my peace of mind, and I'm so ready to get my peace of mind
number one,
back.
I'm stingy. I don't like to share. Number two,
Mm-hmm.
number two, I just like I just if I'm not first pick, I don't want to be anything at all. And that's always
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not paying second best for nobody.
Sin
Okay.
City said not the basement.
Yes, the basement, child. And
Mm-hmm.
you stay your behind right in that basement. And so look, then a couple weeks later, called himself showing up there, and another young lady came there, and he's sitting there rubbing on her and this and that.
Mm,
And look, I was sitting there just laughing like, sis, you got it.
right, girl. If you only knew, honey, have fun with that headache.
Sis, you got it, or whatever.
Yeah,
But
and that's how
but
it is with him. He done got him a new little flunky,
mm,
and I be like, it's when I tell you I have like risen above it so much because now everything is comical to me. It is
Mm-hmm.
comical because the stuff that he do, and you trying to bop around here like you think like you really slick, like you really hiding what you doing, bruh.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, no, like no.
and guess what? She can have you.
I've been told him though, before we filed for divorce, I've been told him, find you a girlfriend. Go spend the night at her house, please.
You know what?
Mm-mm.
You know what? That is so
she
funny.
I told him, I said, will you please go find you a girlfriend, spend the night at her house? Like, you can take your uniform over there, stay a couple of days, please.
He said, my feelings ain't hurt, okay?
And he talking about, yeah, yeah, right. You probably nut up if I did that. I promise you I would not.
Uh-huh.
I
That's
promise you
what
I
you
would
want me
not.
to do, though, dude, but that's not what's
Oh,
happening.
they
Right.
love to see you fight over them. Chill. That feeds the
Mm-hmm.
ego. But when they see you emotionally disconnected, that hurts them the most because they don't have no more control over you.
Mm-hmm.
Once you let go of that emotional part, ain't nothing they could do with you.
Mm-mm.
Uh-huh.
And that emotional part has been disconnected, baby, for a long time. When I tell you, I don't give him no type of energy. Like we pass by each other like two ships in the night. We don't speak, we don't converse. It's like we roommates that don't never see each other.
I know that's right.
I don't have no words. Like if we need to communicate, text me so I can have it on black and white, so I can have a paper trail. Cause bro, I don't trust you. I don't have no conversation with him. Anything I need to say to him, I send it via text. Because them people right there, you have to
Paper
have
trail,
it
paper
in black and
trail.
white, because they will deny that they said what they said to the end of time.
Mm-hmm.
Look, Sensei, him having a side is great for you. I prayed for that.
Man, me too, girl. Me too. Girl, hey, you two, three, four, have fun, baby. I could just have a cluster of just fun.
They can have
Please
you.
do. He up and he went out of town. For like 4 days, supposedly out of town for 4 days, but I didn't even ask him like where he was, where he going, none of that. He just out the blue. He was gone Friday. Text me Saturday night, like around 11. Talking about he in Chicago. Text him if you need him. I only had one question for him. For how long? And he,
How
and
long you gonna be?
he said he would be back that Tuesday. That's all I did know. When I tell you, me and my son had a party.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. And
JB, it's hard. When I tell you, it is hard. Like I literally feel like I'm a prisoner in my own house. That's why I'm sitting in the car. I can't have a conversation in my house because he's
because
law enforcement. I don't trust him.
Oh, I don't blame
exactly.
you.
And
I
they
don't
be
trust him if
recording.
we
They like to
wasn't.
record everything one sided
Hmm.
too.
Yeah, so I don't have no conversations in my house. If I come, I sit in the car, or I'll text or whatever. But no, I don't even have. I literally feel like a prisoner in my house. I can't have a conversation in my
Well,
own house.
divorce is like war anyway, so I wouldn't. I don't even care what law enforcement or not. I wouldn't. I don't trust him. When I was divorcing my husband, it's a war. He's my enemy now, and I hate to say it like that, but that's what it
Hmm.
is. And he had turned. It wasn't amicable at all. You know what I mean? And because he took all the money out of the bank accounts and everything else, paid off the bill, shut off everything, even took my kids' stuff. Yes, he did. And then
Yeah, he don't start doing. He started moving money and taking money and putting them in secret accounts. Like I wasn't gonna find out, bro. I know all these secret accounts that you so called got. And when you submitted your bank statements to the lawyer, them accounts wasn't on there. Don't worry about it. I sent my lawyer the accounts number, the route numbers, and the name of the bank. Subpoena
Mhm.
them.
I
Yes,
know
he
that's
did.
right.
But you know,
Like, really? You try to submit the account that don't have that much money in it. That's not even your main accounts. Don't
mm-hmm.
don't play me like I'm stupid. See, what he failed to realize is that before we parted ways, I was over all of the finances in the house. So I have all of the records. I have all of the receipts, transaction, everything. So when you started moving funny and started taking money out of the account and changing accounts and stuff, I politely rented me a storage locker and moved all my financial documents in the
Mm-hmm.
That's
locker.
right. You got to start moving smart like them, because to protect yourself, because divorce is like war, like Kim said, and
Yes.
you gotta go for the jugular because they will.
Yes, and he don't even. When
Mm-hmm.
I say nothing, he don't have his birth certificate. He did his DD 214 from the military,
We are
his
so cunning.
insurance information, the deed to the house, life insurance. You don't have none of that. I have all of that. And he asked me for some tax papers the other day. I don't have them. Ask your tax account.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this is that I wasn't fortunate enough to intercept mine, but it didn't matter anyway because, like I told him, you can do all that, but you can't hold a good woman down. And to this day, I've
Exactly.
continued to do nothing but rise. And he's sitting over there living in the ghetto. Okay, now Heidelberg, it is the ghetto. Okay, the block is
Mm-hmm.
almost feel like it's a mile long, and it ain't but two or three, four houses on the block because most of them don't burn down and all the rest of that. My daughter don't have nothing to do with him. He called her phone, just talked to her phone for the last 2 years, like he having a conversation with her, but she ain't never picked up the phone once. So, so see what happens is that people, when you do people dirty like that, the karma gets you. You know what I mean?
Yes. And that's why,
It
ladies,
does. And it
look,
don't
vengeance
always
is
hit
not
you. It can hit
yours.
somebody in your family. It can hit your kids. Like karma don't always have to come back and hit you. And what I
Mhm.
told him was like, I don't want anything from you that you had before you met me. I don't want this house. Like he listed all of these things that he could give me or what. I don't want none of that. I just want my portion of what I put into this house.
Mhm.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. All that furniture you said that you was gonna get, I don't even want that because it got bad spirits on it. I'm not taking
Right,
it to my
right,
new
girl.
place.
You gotta
And
Mhm.
cut.
you agreed to pay my truck off and sign it over to me. And I want you to agree to do that. That's all I want
Mhm.
you to
Mm-hmm.
do. And you can't say you didn't say it because I have it in text message. And we also had a conversation in person that I recorded. Bro, this is Georgia. Only one party need to know. And that was me.
Yeah.
That was
Mhm.
me. So I just need you to do what you said you was gonna do, and that's it. That's all. But
Mhm.
now the lie is, oh, she talking about she's gonna take me to the cleaners, bro. You ain't even got no cleaners.
No, you ain't got no planner.
You ain't got
but
no
but
cleaners.
late.
Ladies, I'm
But
gonna have
I
to
just want
go.
people to understand when you in divorce, you got to take the emotion out of it, and you got to
Yes.
start planning your life, okay? And
Mm-hmm.
just remember, vengeance is not yours. God to take care of it.
And you can't go in it with wearing your feelings on your sleeve. You
Mm-mm.
cannot.
You
You
cannot.
cannot show any type of emotion. You can't let them see that if anything get. That's why I'm so glad our mediation is going to be on Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
That way we
Mm-hmm.
don't have to be in the same room with
Room.
each other. And I hope our face ain't even got to be on camera because I don't even want to look at bro.
Exactly. Exactly. Oh
But
my
it's like you
God.
trying to do all this stuff. My lawyer was like, Latoya, we good. We good. Like, no, I'm not worried because first of all, the way your bootleg internet lawyer sent me divorce papers via email. First of all, you law enforcement, you know I have to be served.
Mm-hmm.
That's that.
Exactly.
That's that Waldo stuff, right? That's that's that Waldo stuff.
He's
And
so
then
smart. He's
let me.
stupid.
And this is an example of the radio stuff. So on the divorce thing, you said we got married in March of 2022 and separated April of 2022. Bro, you don't even know when you got married. We got married in 2020. Then you put that we live in DeKalb County. We live in Athens, Clark County. You don't know what county you in, and you work for Athens, Clark County Police Department. I'm confused. That's that radio stuff. So I knew then. Really, dude? Did you copy and paste this yourself?
He trying to save money.
Like, really? And then you went all the way to Atlanta to get you a lawyer. Well, we got lawyers here in Athens. And then he lied and say, well, I saw a piece of paper where she was looking up lawyers in Atlanta. Where you see that at? Because at the time, I wasn't even thinking about no divorce lawyer. I'm trying to get my accident lawyer straight. I ain't talking about no divorce. But you fool, you went up there and got your Atlanta lawyer because I guess I don't know if he thought this is where I was going. My lawyer is right here in Athens, like literally 5 minutes away from my house. You stupid
I know that's right, but it's expensive now.
girl. $4,000.
It's expensive because I did.
$4,000. Luckily, the lawyer that I have, they broke it up into payment plans.
Okay, okay, that's
So
dope.
that worked
That's
out because
dope.
the first lawyer I saw, she wanted her money up front. Baby, I ain't got no
Yeah, a lot of them
$55 to
do.
give you.
It's a lot.
It's a
It's a
lot.
lot
It's a lot to for some bull crap, man.
for them to draw up papers, basically.
And file motions and all of that. So it's like, yeah. So I just can't wait
But,
for the mediation to
but you
see
know
what he
what?
gonna try to say.
But even still, people, it's important to get married, though. I still feel like it's important to get married
I don't
because
know. I
it's
don't
a
know.
protection.
Not a commitment ceremony, me, please.
Oh, see, now I don't have the need to get married anymore. But
Mm-mm.
if you plan on having children and things like that, I think it's important to get married because
Oh,
it's
we
a
ain't got to worry about that no more either.
yeah, exactly. Because
That's why I say commitment ceremony, me, please. I don't need no legal ties to nobody else. Commitment ceremony, me.
well, Latoya, we gotta plan you a divorce party, child.
So, you
Okay.
know what? Let me tell you something. My friends laughed at me because I told them I wanted to have a divorce party at the same venue I had my wedding. I wanted them to wear their bridesmaid dress. I was going to wear my wedding dress. And baby, we was going to party like it was 1999. You hear me? But the
1999.
venue closed down. I was so hurt.
That's a sign right there. The marriage was never meant to be.
It wasn't. It wasn't. It wasn't. It wasn't. I'm gonna be 100% honest with you all because I'm at a place in my life where I can be. Yeah, I saw the red flags. They were flashing like neon lights, and I ignored the mugs. And I know I shouldn't have, but I did. And the flags were there. I should have left many, 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 many times, but I didn't. For one, because I did love him. For two, I did love the family dynamic, and then three, I fell in love with his kids, and our kids fell in love with each other.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of the reasons why. Because he his two girls from his previous marriage, he ended up moving them up here with him, so he was basically a single father. So they
Mm-hmm.
had no type of female presence
Influence.
or
Mm-hmm.
influence. You know what I'm saying? So that was a big reason also. But I should have left him and them kids where they would. I should have been like that song F them kids.
Exactly.
Cause
And let me
them kids crazy just like him.
that's who
So
raised them.
serious. So serious. Like when I say crazy, like I meaning like he literally has some type of mental instability and his children do too. Like not being funny, like dead for real. And it's really, really sad that
Mm-hmm.
him and his ex-wife messed them kids up so bad.
Well, I
So
too
bad.
share the same sentiment. Like it was plenty of red flags, and I ignored them. Like, oh, he won't do this to me, or whatever. He loves me. He ain't even love it.
Mm-hmm.
He ain't even love himself. How he gonna love me?
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. And I told him in therapy one day, and that was the day I knew he was gonna leave because he got mad. I told him, I said, I don't know what age your childhood trauma happened, but you're stuck at that age, and the issue is with your father, and your father is no longer here. I wish you would have healed that or confronted that, whatever that was, before he left, because you did not like him for all the things that I'm saying to you that you're doing to me. So you turned out to be the person that you didn't want to be. Boy, what I say that for?
Sorry, my phone ringing.
He turned like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and he got mad. And I was like, "But why you mad? Your mama said you just like him too. How dare you talk to my mama? I talk to your mama
Mm-hmm.
about my life. I can talk to your mom whenever I want to." And that's what he didn't want. He didn't want me to have a relationship with his mom, so I can really, really tell her the real, and she can really, really tell me the real.
Narcissists love to isolate you from from
Mm-hmm.
from
Because his
anybody
family
that can.
still live in Chicago. And when I tell you, we have been together for 10 years. He's been to visit his mom in the 10 years we've been together twice.
And you know what? My narcissist, my narc had mommy issues. And that's why he projected he
Mm-hmm.
projected that onto me. But when they try to isolate you, and don't want you to have close relationships, that's a clear, it's a sign of, it's controlling. It's about the
Mm-hmm.
control.
Mm-hmm.
Because they don't want you to have anybody to talk to when they mistreat you. You understand?
See, it wasn't like he didn't try to isolate me from my friends. He wanted to isolate me from his family because he didn't want his family to tell me how he really is
And my
and the
narc did the
stuff that
same
he's really
thing.
done. And but see, when me and his mom finally met and we had a conversation and we got close and we exchanged numbers, baby, I knew she was my saving grace. Anytime that mug got out of pocket, oh, let me call your mama. And she would call him and get him all the way together. And she would be like, do you need me to come down there and stay for a while? Because I will.
That's what's up. And see, you know what I like about his mom? She ain't say, "Oh, not my son. He wouldn't do that." She held him accountable. You know what I mean?
Hmm. But in the same breath, she's one of those, Bible thumping Christians. And she's like, well, I dealt with it for 40 years. He can change. He can change. Just go in the prayer closet and pray. I believe he can change. He needs you. He needs you. I said, no, he don't need me. He need God.
He need God for sure. He
He
need
need
God.
God and a good licensed patient therapist. That's what he needs. I said, I'm glad you did it in 40 because I'm out in 3. I can't.
Well, and it sounds like emotionally you have detached yourself. So that's when you
Oh
know
yeah.
you
Yeah.
done. Cause I knew, look, once I got silent, he already knew he was in trouble. Like, cause I have nothing for you, no emotion.
Nothing.
Like, I
Nothing.
don't care what happens to you. I don't care.
Mm-mm. My inner battle now, and my struggle and part of my healing journey now is forgiving myself.
And it took me a good 2 years in some therapy to forgive myself because I felt a lot of guilt. Like, oh, my kids was exposed to this and that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I felt a lot of guilt, and I
Because
had to
I had
go.
to put my son in therapy and I had to put him in boxing to redirect the anger because they
Hmm.
almost came to blows one night and I had to get in between them. And
I
my son had got to the point to where he was tired and he was tired of how he was treating me because and
my kids
another
got to
thing
that
that I
point
feel
too.
so guilty about that I struggle with is that I depended so much on my son to help take care of me. And it's like that wasn't his responsibility. Like I'm
Mm,
supposed to take care of him, but I had nobody else because my husband had literally like checked out, so I had to depend on him. And me and my son, like that's my I call him my broke best friend. Like we thick as
hmm.
thieves. And so he's gonna take care of me regard. He gonna be, you had them kids, it's gonna be one that ain't gonna be bothered with you when they get old, but it's gonna be that one that's gonna always make sure they mama straight. That's
Hmm.
Justin. He gonna always make sure his mama straight. So
Hmm.
he didn't complain about taking care of me, but he was just mad at the fact that
Your
this
husband
your
wasn't doing.
husband and he's not taking care. He was like, Mom, he act like he doesn't care anything about you and it makes me
Wow.
angry.
And that's how my kids started to feel too. And they started to feel like they needed to defend me, even though I was
Hmm.
telling them not to, but those my children, they want to protect me, you know what I mean,
Right.
naturally or whatever. But I did go through a lot of therapy to like work through our issues. And I had to forgive myself, that
Hmm.
my kids know that wasn't my intention. I wanted us to be a happy family. That was my goal. He had other intentions.
Right.
And it's not on
Exactly.
exactly. You got to protect the children. And once it started getting volatile for my kids, I was out of there.
Yeah. See,
I
he
ain't
was
trying to.
never like he's so fixated on status and the public's perception of him that he will
Mm-hmm.
never like he would never be violent. He would never like put his hands on me. Like nothing like that. Now he don't even
Mm-hmm.
curse. He don't drink, he don't smoke. Like he's a straight up square. But I tell him you don't have to curse, you don't have to drink, you don't have to smoke. You are a mean and evil and vindictive person.
That's a
And
whole nother thing.
right. And it's like you ain't gotta do all that. Like you saying all that to make people think, oh, he's just this perfect person. No, you ain't gotta do all that because your demons come out in other ways. It's the petty, vindictive stuff you do. Like he know he can't get to me, so he might say little slick, little underhanded comments to my son because he knows he internalizes a lot of stuff. But I had to coach my son to be like, don't even worry about him. Like block that out. He's just trying to get up under your skin. He looking for some supply. He was like, Mom, what do you mean? I said, let me put it to you like this. Everybody walking around with a battery on their pack. Our batteries are full to capacity. His battery is low. He don't have no way to charge his battery. The only way he can get power in his battery pack is to demean you or me or be mean to you or me or, have us upset or this, that, and the third. That's how he gets power in his battery pack. So when he says things to you and you show emotion or, get mad or whatever, then you've taken some of your battery out your pack and you put it in his. Do you want to have your battery pack full or do you want to give him some of your battery? He was like, no, I want to keep all my power. Okay, then, well,
Don't give
pay
him the
him dust.
power over
Pay
your
him dust.
emotions.
Pay
Yeah.
him dust. Ignore him. If he says something to you, act like you didn't even hear it and ignore him. That's how you keep your power in your battery pack and you leave him on empty and he got to go find it somewhere else.
Let him unravel by himself. It's just like when you argue, you got to have two people to argue, right?
Right.
So you shut down one party, they don't have nobody to argue with but themselves.
Because he might come in there and say something to me. And I totally ignore him and he'll call my name and I don't even respond. He walk out, he be all mad, stomping or whatever. And just to be like, Mom, why you ignoring him, man? Because what he's saying, I ain't got time for.
And it don't make sense. So like, why even take myself through that?
Right.
Why even take myself through that? Oh my God, Latoya, you just gave us a testimony this morning. We started out talking about fibroids and we ended up talking about divorce and
Right.
the
And when I
different
tell
emotions you go
you,
through.
Nick, I needed this release.
I
So
got you,
bad.
girl. I got you always. Let me tell you something. That's why I always try to be transparent with my subs. You know what I mean? I'm not out here proclaiming I had a perfect life. I made mistakes and stuff like that, but I redeemed myself. I rebuilt myself. I survived that.
Mm-hmm.
You
That's
understand?
like me. Like in this process, he thinking he holding me down, this, that, and the third. I had already got approved for a program. Me and my son getting a house built literally right around the corner from where we
I know
live at
that's
now.
right.
But I move in silence. I don't tell nobody what I'm doing, but my close inner circle. But bro, you'll never know my next move. You'll never know what I'm doing, and that's what is driving him crazy. He don't know what moves I'm making. He don't know what I know, what I don't know, what I have in place, what I don't have in place. You will never
Real
know. Because when I
gangsters.
strike on you,
I'm a pounce, baby.
I'm a pounce. No, I would never. It's like, you know how I am. And my mama told him, you better be glad you got the Latoya that she is now. Because if you had got Latoya 5 years ago, I wouldn't give a flying flea about you being a police officer or nothing. Get smart to get wrong with me. I'm going in your grill.
I love it. Real gangsters move in silent.
But then when they start putting out like the bad and the busted down here, little mugshot paper, I can't do that no more because I got stuff to lose. I can't have my mugshot in the
Exactly.
paper.
Maturity.
Right. Now, I never got arrested, nothing like that. When I put
Me
hands on
neither.
somebody, it was both my baby daddies and they deserved it. But it was like it wasn't no talking. Like once I ask you a question and you lie to me and I know you lie, my first instinct is to just go in your grill because how you gonna play in my face like that?
Sim want to know when your birthday.
I'm an Aries girl, 32383. Yeah, March
Yes.
Aries, girl, we are the boo.
Yeah. I love it, Latoya. Well, I appreciate you coming up here and sharing. We have a lot in common, girl.
Yes, I appreciate you. I definitely got to plan a trip to the Jersey.
Oh, girl. We gonna
I
have it.
haven't been up that way. I have an aunt that lives in Brooklyn, New York. I haven't visited her since I was 12 years old. That's the last time I've been out there. It be too cold up there for me, y'all. I'm a Southern peach. I can't.
You gotta come in the summertime. I'm going to Brooklyn this weekend. My family, my family from Philly, they gonna meet me in Brooklyn. They want to see the Jay-Z exhibit. I don't know why, child, but we gonna
Why
go.
not? Cameras have saved lives for sure. What cameras?
Talking about with dealing with relationships and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
She said, since said
They
them
show
April Aries
ain't.
ain't.
They show ain't saying they show ain't. Them April Aries ain't sugar honey iced tea, baby. Them April Aries is crazy.
And
My
Gemini, June Gemini men off the chain.
Virgo men. My soon to be husband is a Virgo. Stay away from Virgo men.
My brother is a Virgo child. That's why we don't get along.
You gotta stay away from them Virgo men,
He
cause
said,
baby.
and now it's full circle, Latoya, because when you said like a lot of stuff he do don't make sense, that is my brother. And
That's
I
a
even
Virgo.
before I moved in, he was like, "What's your gripe with me?" I said, "You don't even make sense half the time. I can't even talk to you."
Do your brother repeat stories over and over again?
Over and
Good.
over and over again.
Like he ain't never told you before.
Child, ever since I've been here, all he make is jerk chicken in the air fryer. He call himself cooking.
Girl. Girl. I think that's all of the. That's all that man do is cook chicken in the air fryer. They don't have to have no sides. Just plain chicken. Who took
Girl,
you some chicken with no sides?
girl. My brother
My
do.
Maurice is September. Oh Lord, Maurice. Oh Lord. Not September the 4th. Is he a Virgo? September
Yes.
4th is a Virgo?
Yes.
Girl. See him come.
We in Virgo season.
You know, they said I'm most compatible with an Aquarius.
I don't know who I'm most compatible with. I think I'm most compatible with myself. Okay. So that's
What's your sign?
I'm a Gemini.
Do you think you could be with another Gemini?
I what my ex-husband was a Gemini. We was 2 days apart. Girl,
Oh, so that's a no.
that was like a freaking volcano erupting. Cause neither one of us are back down.
Oh yeah. And
Hey
then
Jinx.
y'all Geminis, man, y'all gotta tell us which person is there at the moment. Cause y'all flip flop between different people so much.
Yeah, we do. I own mine. I own my twin. I tell people all the time, don't make my twin come down.
Like, am I talking to Nikki or am I talking to Nadi?
But look. My twins have come cohesive since I've been a single woman. Okay.
That's good. That's good. So you ain't have to break out that bad twin.
Sin City is a Cancer. Cancers are emotional beings. Chill. My daughter is a
Really?
Cancer. They are so emotional. Oh, well,
Good
I would say
emotional or bad emotional?
like sensitive emotional.
Oh.
Like you could say something. What you do? Why you trying to come at me like that? And it's
Oh,
like
see,
it was
no,
doing.
Stan, I hope you're not like that. They would tell my dude.
Yeah, we Gemini's. She said I cannot with a Cancer 2 week. Hey Jinx, thank you for joining. Thank you
They
for
are
joining.
cancers a week. I gotta see if I know a cancer. What is Cancer month?
My daughter is so sensitive. My daughter is July 12th.
Oh, yep. That my sister's July 14th, and that girl's so freaking sensitive. Oh
Yes.
my god! Like you
Telling
say
me.
something, and it don't even like
It
what are
don't
you
even be
talking about?
directed
Like
at
it didn't even
them.
mean that.
And see me, I'm very direct. You know what I'm saying? So
Yes,
like I'm one of them people like you'll never have to wonder what I'm thinking. Cause I'm gonna tell you.
right.
I'm this. Ooh, there we go. My phone ringing off the hook, y'all. I owe my best friend a phone call. I gotta call back.
Ooh, girl.
I gotta call her back. But yeah, girl, I hope we could do a story time again. I thought this was good. I just wanted to like kind of
Wait a
show.
minute. Wait a minute. Juice just did something that said rapper Blueface stabbed in the leg.
Oh, I did a story on that yesterday, girl. That story is a plan. I don't believe it. They playing in our face so people can go over
Who,
and
dude?
watch their crazy show. Yeah.
Girl,
That whole thing
who
looks
saying
staged.
stabbed him?
So of course it's a video of a guy that walks into the boxing place where he training at, and it showed them exchanging words, and Blueface swing on him. So this is my thing, right? We in a tussle, we fighting. Latoya, if I pull out a knife and stab you, am I going to go for your leg or am I going to go for your torso? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
and so then when they showed the picture, I said, this looked like they put some fake blood on some gauze and wrapped it around and created a little bruise. Like they play in our faces, people, just like Krishan tried to say she was done with Blueface. She not done. She ain't never done with him. Okay. They do all of this to get you to go over and watch their show. And quite frankly, their show is out of my age bracket. Okay. Well, I'm in my 40s. I ain't sitting back and paying Zeus nothing for a bunch of drama or
right.
whatever. But the whole thing looked staged. It looked like a plan.
Why she can't shake him?
Because I think it's because of the way she grew up and she has the wrong ideas of what love is.
Mm.
And she doesn't love
But
herself.
it
Come
seems like sometimes she seems like she's like on the right mental path, and she's understanding like she need to leave him alone, and then it's like bam, she's back with him.
And I'm telling you, she started posting like my baby due soon, y'all. She did that because she knew she was going to be with him. And so how she going to justify going back and being with him after she just said, "Oh, I know he toxic, he a narcissist, he controlled me, this and that." How we going to justify being in a picture with him now?
That's true.
So now she's trying to use the fact that, oh, she about to have this baby, so that's why he around. I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
That's crazy.
They are recording for a show. All of this is for the show.
Where are her parents?
Well, I mean, her daddy ain't ish, and her mama, I think she be around, but I think Krishan take care of everybody. The
That's crazy.
baby of the family. And for the life of me, why she decided to reproduce with this community D piece of crap, I don't know.
And you see, what kind of baby daddy he is to the others. Like,
He is a terrible dad to the others. The way he exploits his kids, his baby mother looked like an ant, okay, with that fake booty. It looks disgusting.
and then how you had the little boy in the pantry looking for something to eat.
And then
Girl.
yesterday he made him say the ninja word. And the little boy was like, "No, that's a bad word, Daddy." He was like, "I said you could say it. Why you going to teach your son that in this world of
Right.
hate?"
Exactly. And he's telling you it's a bad word. That means he knows it's a bad word. And you, girl, ooh, people like that should not be
How,
able to reach.
how the baby got more sense than the daddy? Hey, Jules, thank you for joining.
While they out here trying to, hey, Cece! While they out here trying to, politic our uterus, they need to politic them, and their capabilities are able to reproduce because they're the problem.
Exactly. She young, dumb, and full of cum, sin. That's all that. That's just the bottom line. That's just the bottom line. She probably ain't never had no D like that in her life. And so she addicted. She drunk in love.
And then you bringing a baby into this dysfunction.
And that's
Like,
what's sad about the
it
whole thing.
is.
I feel bad for the baby. Like, what kind of values you want to raise this child with?
The baby has, the baby really doesn't have any type of stable person,
You
not
want to
even
come?
Blueface mama.
Y'all see the link at the top? If y'all don't see the link, I'll drop it. If you want to come up, Juice, we could talk about it.
Come on, Sissy Pooh.
I talked about it yesterday, Juice. But
I
I
didn't
think
get to see your face yesterday. Your nephew's son had me out here in these streets. It's
oh,
crazy.
okay. Let me get the link for you. Hold on 1 second.
Cause Blueface mama, she ain't even stable, is she?
She ain't ish. And that's the reason why he is the way he is. Hold on. I don't know why StreamYard.
It's at the very, very top, but it may be gone now.
I know. I'm trying to get it. I'm trying to get it. Oh, it probably did go away. Hold on. Let me see, guys. Invite guys. Oh, here we go. I found it. Okay.
I just feel so bad for the pro baby. Like the baby already started off at a deficit.
All right, there we go. Can you hear me? Because I'm on my phone about to go dead. Yeah, so the gaslighting of it all, and he's a younger narc. So imagine what he gonna
Yeah,
be when he grown. Okay.
right.
Hey, Jules. Good morning, beautiful.
Hey, beautiful people.
Missy, I'm missing you.
Hey, Latoya girl.
Hey,
And
I'm
it looked
missing
like y'all
you.
had a good time for Light of the Leo's birthday.
Oh my
Yes,
goodness.
we did. I laughed so hard. Like I told Jennifer, I said if we wasn't at me at if we were not at me evil times. When I ran up to her, I probably would have bust out crying, but I had to hold it together. I had to be a G.
Hello, beautiful Nadi. How you doing? Sin City, how you doing? Beautiful. I love the radio she put in there. Sin City, I love her.
I love Sin City from Noah.
I know, I know. Nadi, I really love your title. I caught a little bit of it while I was walking this morning. I didn't get to finish watching, so I'm going to go back and watch the repeat. And I do apologize. I was so busy trying to get this story up, but I wanted to know if you had spoke on this recent thing that happened with Blueface, because that's your guy. You know, you've been reporting on him with this guy that came in and attacked him in the boxing gym.
And as much as I want to say, okay, I feel bad that he was a victim of violent crime.
Hmm. Hmm.
Then I turn around and look and see how he's exploiting his children and how he has exploited
Yeah.
these women. And the energy you put out eventually is gonna come back at you.
It
You
will. It
understand?
will. It
But
will. It
a
will.
lot of me feels like this was staged.
A lot of people are saying that. A lot of people are saying that. But but hey, but I digress. Listen, let's get back to your top of your story, the fibroid issue. Let me tell you, I am one who deals with fibroids. And
Wow.
and I
Really?
Yes, and you know what? And I'm 56, and I was recently diagnosed with fibroids about maybe 3 years, 4 years ago. Already have started my menopause stage, so I didn't have to go through as far as that part of it. So mine, like, I don't have any pains, I don't have any cramping and stuff like that. I just have to go and get it checked every now and then with my doctor. So I am being very blessed with knowing that I have fibroids. And I didn't know I had fibroids until one day I was sitting and my back started hurting really bad. And I thought maybe it was the position I was sitting in my car before because I went on a long drive. But it continued to hurt. And when I went to the doctor, that's when they diagnosed me saying, you've got fibroids and that's where the pain is coming from.
Wow.
And so I was in no clue. And I really don't have as much knowledge as I want to have about it. But I do love that you're talking about this because I think a lot of women have to understand because sometimes we may think a body issue that's going on, like a pain or a cramp or something, is something else, but it could be something greater. Like in
Mm-hmm.
my case, I would have never known that these were fibroids had I just kept saying, well, it's just a car ride. My back's hurting, it's no problem, whatever, you know.
Mhm.
So do have continue to have these conversations to let our women be aware of these things that are going on. And I heard you part of what you said that you had a partial hysterectomy.
Mhm.
My mom also had a partial hysterectomy as well when she was very young. So I'm saying that because I think it was Sin City that said that she's dealing with ovarian cancer, I believe it was.
Mhm. Mhm.
So and Sin, I'm praying you through, girl. I'm praying that the right doctors would get exactly what you need and help you through this process. And I pray long life over you in Jesus' name.
In Jesus' name.
Yes, yes. My mom was diagnosed with ovarian cancer at the age of over 70 is when she was
Wow.
diagnosed.
Wow.
And I want women to understand how important it is to catch these things when it's early,
Mhm.
because my mother was at the age, like I said, over 70 when she was diagnosed with hers. And unfortunately, it was a stage 4 when they
Wow.
found hers. But the blessing in it all, and there's always a blessing in everything, is that there, my mom went against what every doctor told her. And one of the doctors told her that she would not make it past 2 months if she did not have the surgery. Well, I was in the room when that doctor said that, and I immediately rebuked her in Jesus' name. And I said, "You will not speak that over my mother, and we're going to find another doctor."
Mhm.
And so my mother, praise God, she lived over 2.5 years um, after she was diagnosed. And I say this, she decided to go home and be with the Lord herself because she decided to no longer do the treatments. She was
Mhm.
tired, and it got to a point where she was missing my dad. And the loving part of that whole situation that happened with my mother is she passed away, or she gave up her spirit, I'll say, on her anniversary day. That it would have, yeah, because my father had passed away years before, and on my mother's anniversary is the morning that she passed away. So we all said that my dad came and got her, and they continued their anniversary celebration in heaven.
Yes.
Oh, I love
Oh.
that. And you know what, Juice? She's no longer suffering.
Absolutely not. But you know what? The key to this whole thing is getting checked early. Please, ladies, go in. What, even if it's a little cramp, a little ache, a little whatever it is, go and have it checked. Especially I tell my sister all the time, you have health insurance that you're paying every month and you don't go to the doctor. Are you kidding me?
What are you paying for? You know?
Right.
And Juice, a
Have you
lot
all ever
early
had a
detection is key to a lot of ailments. If they catch it early enough, your chances
Exactly.
of you surviving becomes greater. So
Mhm.
that's
Yes.
why it's just important to make sure you stay up on your yearly checkups and things like that. And like you said, as soon as you have one little pain, go check it out. Don't
Yes.
be scared. See, a lot of time people let fear consume them and it stopped them from taking care of themselves. And being that I work in healthcare, I see the difference in the way our community looks at healthcare and the way
Hmm.
Caucasian people look at healthcare. Caucasian people just go get it done. They don't think no I got cancer. Okay, well what do I got to do to treat it? And they just adjust and learn how to live. I do see a lot of people in our community, they tend to pout, they get depressed, and they stop taking care of themselves. And you lessens your chances of surviving that way.
That's right.
And then
naughty?
also diet is very key to all of this.
Very, very key. Let me tell you, that's the topic we need to really have on your channel. Very key. And I want to say congratulations to Sin City. Say it's been 12 years. Thank God. Come on,
Wow.
Sin City, show them.
Come on.
And that's important to let people know that somebody else's story may not be your story. You
Mm-hmm.
know, come on now,
Mm-hmm.
girl, come
Have
on.
you all have you all ever had a cyst to burst before?
No, I've never had one. No.
I had a cyst to burst when I was pregnant with Justin. I was at work and my back started to hurt like yours. And I was working at the hospital at the time. And so my boss was like, well, let's just go downstairs to the ER and get you checked or whatever. And I was like, no, I think I'll be okay. And then the more I walked, the more it started to hurt. So we went ahead and went downstairs. And that's what they told me, that I had an ovarian cyst that had burst. And luckily, Justin
Wow.
was okay. And I didn't have to do anything. But they just kept a close eye on me. But I didn't even know I had a cyst.
Yeah. And it's very, very important. Like someone was saying in the chat here, Jinx Taylor, she said, I didn't realize that fibroid pain caused be masked as something else. Yes, they can. And
Mm-hmm.
that's why, like I said, I had just did a long travel. I did like a 6 hour drive to go out of town. And when I got to the hotel is when my back started hurting. So I'm thinking it was the drive. But when I got back, and it hurted the whole time that I was on that trip, and about a week. And when I got back, it was still in pain. And I was still trying to think, well, maybe it's the car ride. But I said, let me just go to the hospital, the doctor, to my primary care and get it checked. And thank God my primary care was wise enough to say, listen, this not no car ride. We're gonna check this more thoroughly. And
Mm-hmm.
they did. And it was part of it was attributed to, I think they said the uterus was enlarged uterus was part of it as well. Because depending on where the fibroid is, it can cause your uterus to be enlarged. But there me, I don't take any medicines for it. I'm not treated like that. My doctor said mine are fine. I don't have any pain. I was asked if I wanted to have a hysterectomy. I said, well, do I have to? Because if I don't have to, let me know. And my doctor is a very great doctor. And he said, listen, unless you feel pain where you can't tolerate it, there's no need to put yourself through the hysterectomy unless it's something that you choose to do, because the recovery process from the hysterectomy can sometimes be very long. He said it can sometimes take up to 6 months for your recovery.
Yeah, it
So,
took me, although I had a partial,
yes.
hormonally, it took me a good 6 months to get back on track, but I did feel better though as soon as
Yeah.
I had the partial hysterectomy. But it was because of my age that they went that route. I was so far away from menopause, and it
Mm-hmm.
really had affected my quality of life to the point like where I wasn't living the
Yeah.
way I should be.
Yeah.
And so it took me four doctors to come up with that decision. The importance of getting second and third and fourth
Yes.
opinions, okay? So you can make the best choice for yourself. Like, because I already had one surgery to remove them. They came
Hmm.
back more aggressively.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it came back more aggressive the second time, to the point
Hmm.
I was disabled. Like I only could stay in the bed. I had to stay next to the toilet.
Wow.
So that's why I'm glad we had people in different stages of it on the panel today. Um, this is how you come up with your conclusion, people. All right.
Hmm.
And Kim spoke to it earlier. Kim delivers, hers, when they discovered hers and when she was about to get the surgery, but she was so close to menopause, it didn't even make sense. And so she went through menopause and they shrunk down. So she didn't have to have the surgery.
Good. Good.
Right.
This is why you have to talk to other people that experience this so that you can educate yourself to make the best decision for yourself, because everybody's different.
Yes.
Everybody's
And
needs are
then
different.
people need to realize fibroids, it can affect your blood pressure,
Mm-hmm.
it can cause weight gain, it can affect your
Mm-hmm.
thyroid, it can affect your digestive system, your urinary systems, like that it can affect so much. And I
Yes.
didn't realize it either, but I had my surgery in 2011. I healed
Hmm.
within 4 weeks. I went back to work 2 weeks early because I had healed up, but hormonally, mine took about 6 months also. The only
Mhm.
hormonal issue I had was my libido was almost
Low.
non existent.
Okay.
And I told my doctor, I said, now wait a minute now, hold a minute. Now if I knew if I knew that this surgery was gonna have your girl over here like, I don't want it, I would have told you, give me my oven back.
Ah,
But he was like, he was like, no, it'll take a minute and they'll get back on track. And they did. But I absolutely loved my doctor. When I tell you he was amazing. He off the rip told me, he asked me how soon I wanted to do it. And he said, I'm letting you know now, when I do my surgeries, I'm not like other doctors where I pack 3, 4, 5, 6 surgeries in one day. He said, no, I'm not going to perform your surgery tired, and I'm not going to be tired
Amen.
after I perform your surgery.
Amen.
He said,
Right.
so the most I do in a day is 3, depending. If I have a difficult surgery, then one of those surgeries is going to get rescheduled. And I
Amen.
appreciate him for that. And then I had my surgery on a Friday. He came to check on me that Saturday at the hospital, and he came back to check on me on that Sunday. And that Sunday he came after church, and to where his house is, it was so smart of him. His office is across the street from the hospital, and his house is behind his office. So
I
he
know that's
literally can
right.
walk to work and then walk to the hospital when he needs the surgeries or deliver babies or whatever. But when he left church that Sunday, he literally stayed in the room with me. He ended up falling asleep in a recliner.
That's a good doctor. He got good
Very,
bedside manner.
I'm telling you,
Mhm.
Jerry. I love it. I love it. And I'm gonna have to go back and watch your replay of your video because I love Kim. Kim is hilarious.
She
I love
is
him.
hilarious.
She is hilarious. I
But she a
love.
straight shooter.
She is, and she don't miss
Yes.
either. She don't miss.
Juice, Juice, I don't know if you saw what I said. I had 4. 2 of mine were the size of cantaloupes, and 2 were the size of lemons.
Okay.
And when I had my surgery, they had just started doing it where they could do the hysterectomy, where they could do it vaginally. But
Mhm.
because my fibroids were so big, he said he wouldn't be able to pull it through. So I had to have the surgery, but my cut, it was a bikini cut. But when I tell you it was so small, and like now, like I can't even see it, the scar.
Yeah,
Amen.
the first surgery I had a scar. The second surgery, they just made 2 little small incisions. And when I say I was walking, I was only out of work for a week.
Yeah. Yeah. And also, my doctor tested mine to make sure that they weren't cancerous.
That's another part of it.
Mhm.
So
Mm-hmm.
yes, so your doctor, your caring doctors, that if you got a really caring doctor, they're gonna run everything, every sort of test. My doctor
Yeah.
even told me, well, there's one test I'm gonna run for you twice in this year, even though your insurance only covers it once. He said, but I'm gonna run it twice anyway. And
Mm-hmm.
see if your insurance accepts it. He says, if it don't, then you might have to pick up that cost. And I said, it don't matter because my body is worth whatever it costs
Mhm.
I have to pay. So,
Absolutely, Juice.
That's how my doctor
Absolutely.
was when we found out I had lupus. He ran the test. He ran that test like 4 times, and he
yeah.
was like, "I want to make sure that it wasn't a lab error, or they didn't do something right." So he ran it 4 times. And the first rheumatologist he referred me to, when I walked into that man's office, my spirit told me, this man ain't right. Something ain't right. This is not the doctor for me. But I went to the appointment. He ran blood work. I
Oh
went
wow.
back to the follow up, and he was like, "Well, your lupus test came back negative. You just have low vitamin D." And I'm like, "What?" I said, "My primary care doctor ran the test 4 times, and it was positive, and it reflected to lupus. But you're saying it's just low vitamin D?" I was like, yeah, okay. As soon as I left, I called my doctor. I said, you got to refer me to somebody else because he said this. And he was like, oh, no, no, no. So he referred me to Dr. Teresa Lawrence in Lawrenceville, but her waiting list was so long because she was amazing. She's a black woman, amazing doctor. Her and her sister have the practice together. And so when I went and seen her and she did the blood work and I went back for my follow up and she looked at his lab, she said, I want to apologize on behalf of him. And I was like, why? She said, the only explanation I can give is that he was in somebody else's chart because his blood work and my blood work are the same. It reflected to mixed connective tissue disease, which is under the umbrella of lupus.
Well, it's very important, like Nadi said, to get, other doctors to look at stuff, like if it takes
Mm-hmm.
4 doctors, get them all to take a look at that. And health for us Black American women is really,
Mhm.
really, we have other things that we have to go through that other people of other cultures don't. And so it's very important for us to go and seek medical, advice and medical attention because let me tell you, a lot of times we just sit and we're like, oh, that's all right. I'll be fine. This pain will get over, but you never know what's going on. My mother, she started having difficulty breathing. And she was just saying, oh, I'm just anxious. I'm just excited, and I'll just calm myself down. And she had learned breathing techniques to calm herself down. But come to find out, it was really fluid that was building up. And
Wow.
got to the point where she couldn't really breathe well, and we were like, listen, you're gonna have to go and get this checked. And that's when she went to the hospital, and that's when they ran the test and found out about the ovarian cancer. So
Wow.
mhm.
Is it because she was past the age of getting pap smears?
I don't know. Now she had primary care, and she was doing, everything from what I know. Anything that the doctor said she was supposed to go, she was going regularly. But I think when this incident happened, see, my mother was the type. She'd go to the doctor and she'd be feeling all kind of pains, but when she get in front of the doctor, she'd say, "I'm fine.
My
Mm,
mom's the same way.
I'm fine."
Running to the doctor. That gets you
Right.
nowhere.
Right. And I think that's part of what it was. And that's why it is very important to tell your doctors everything.
Everything.
mhm.
Recently went to the hospital to have it because my arm was hurting and my left arm especially. Thank God I'm fine. But on the drive there, my knee started tingling, my left knee. And when they checked, they did an x-ray on it and found that they said there's arthritis in my knee.
I
Now,
was just about to say that sound like old Arthur.
yeah, but had I not said anything, I wouldn't have known, because the doctors are going to check what you say is ailing you or hurting you.
Mhm.
That's what
And
they're going to,
sometimes you have to make the doctor
yeah,
test what you want them to test. They'll say, "Oh, it's not necessary. I'm paying for it. I want it done. Order it."
And can I make this point? It is important to know your family medical history and these incidences
absolutely.
so you know your risk factors.
Right.
Okay. And so that's what I'm glad my mom always had us around my grandparents. Like we took care of them and things like that. But because of that, I know her family medical history. So when I take her to the doctor, she can't lie.
Right. But see, I'm kind of at a disadvantage because my grandfather, who raised me, who the only grandfather that I know, he actually was my step grandfather. My father's biological father, he didn't have a relationship with. I only met him twice, and he's passed away. So I don't know that side of my family. Luckily, my stepmother, she's really close with that side, and she had a conversation with one of my uncles. Come to find out, lupus runs on my grandfather's side of the
Mm,
family.
You see
mm,
that? And that's why, like, these young folk, they playing around bed hopping and making babies with anybody. And you don't know a person's family medical history when you do that. You don't know reproduce a child, you don't know what they're predisposed to.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? They could be
Mm-hmm.
predisposed to mental illness, things like that.
High
yeah,
blood pressure, heart disease, cancer, everything. And
Everything.
with
And
us
these are things
being,
you need to pay attention to before
mm-hmm,
you get in relation with a person. You understand?
yes,
That's the importance of the dating process so that you can learn all those things about a person because you never know. His gene pool and your gene pool may not mix.
yeah.
right.
My son was diagnosed at birth with sickle cell trait.
Ooh.
And I
Mm-hmm.
want to praise God and thank God that it's just a trait.
Mm-hmm.
But that came from when I dated his father. Now I had all kind of blood work and stuff done before we got married because I'm still a firm advocate of that. When you get ready to
Mm-hmm.
marry somebody, have that blood work done. My husband and I today we did that. We had blood work done before we got married. But I had blood work with my ex at the time, but unfortunately, the doctors did not test for sickle cell trait or sickle cell. Come to find out, when my ex-husband and our son was diagnosed with sickle cell trait, the doctors told us one of you, the parents, has sickle cell trait. And so my ex kept saying, "Well, it's not me. It's not me. It must be you and your family." So I was like, "Listen, doctor, just test me." And they test me and says, "No, you don't have it." My ex refused to get tested. And I said, why are you refusing to get tested? And he was like, "No, I know it's not me." Well, later on, a few years later, we found out his daughter has sickle cell. And I said, why didn't you tell me? And you knew your daughter has sickle cell. So you are the carrier of the sickle cell trait gene. And there's nothing wrong with that. But you have to be able to let your partners know, because had I been someone who had sickle cell trait, our son could have been birthed with full sickle cell. So I said all that to say this: at an early age, I'm talking maybe 3, 4, 5, I told my son, and to today, I still continue to tell my son, be very careful with who you date and who you have intercourse with, because you are a carrier of sickle cell trait.
Mm-hmm.
And your mate or whoever you get with, you have to find out if they have sickle cell trait, because your child's health, your future children's health, depends on you being having that knowledge and sharing that knowledge. So even till today, and if he tells me he's dating someone, I said, listen, did you get tested? Did they get tested? They got sickle cell trait? And he said,
Mm-hmm.
Mom, we're not that far in. I'm like, listen, just a little clinic visit real quick before you get in deep with somebody. Just a real clinic,
Mm-hmm.
just to be aware. But
Mhm.
sickle cell
Jules,
is
I have a comment to what you said earlier about
sickle
people
cell
not wanting
disease.
to go
Thank
to
you,
the
sis.
doctor. And, do you think a lot of times they don't go to the doctor or they have bad health habits because there's this long standing stigma that when we go to the doctor and complain about something that's going on with us, they don't believe us?
What do you mean with certain doctors?
Yeah, like with black people, when we go to the doctor to complain about, this is going on, this is going on, they don't believe us. It's like, oh, you're just complaining, or oh, you're just seeking medicine. It's like it's this stigma that we're so like we're pain free, like we don't feel anything.
Here's my thing towards that, and I'm hoping I'm answering your question to what you're saying. But my thought process, if you're with a doctor and you feel as though the doctor is not believing you and they're just looking at you as a number, find another doctor. There are too many
Mm-hmm.
other doctors out there that really care for their patients and really want to sit and listen to you. But yeah, Latoya, there may be some doctors, not just white now. There may be some black doctors that really don't really care for you in the sense of, I really want to risk my license to make sure that you're safe. So I don't think it's just white doctors. I think it's just doctors who feel as though they're just there. They may be having a bad day, or maybe they're just not that concerned about their patients. But I
No,
would
not
say,
white doctors. Just it could be any nationality. I'm
Mm-hmm.
just saying, like for people with, let's just say, Obamacare or Medicaid or Medicare. You can only go to certain facilities. And
mm,
typically at those facilities, which are low income facilities, they tend to not take us seriously or believe what we say, or not really do what we ask them to do. And when people are at a disadvantage where they only are limited to a certain number of places they can go to, like what do they do then? Like I think that's also contributed to the bad healthcare,
yeah,
the bad dieting, all of that. Because it's like, well,
it
I go to the doctor, they don't believe me, so what am I supposed to do?
it does. And I'm going to say this: I am grateful and thankful and glorify God for Obamacare, because I am one of the participants that have benefited from the Obamacare. Now, being in real estate, when you're a real estate agent, real estate broker, or private investors, or business manager, self-employed like myself, you don't have that insurance from your job. So
Mm-hmm.
Obamacare helped me. Now, I do want to say this about Obamacare. I signed up and I got one of the lowest premiums, because I don't want to spend a whole bunch of money on my monthly premiums. And I went to one doctor that I really do love, and they told me that they were no longer accepting Obamacare,
Mm.
or that program. So not the Obamacare, but the insurance carrier that I had. So what I did was I contacted healthcare.gov, and I said, listen, what program do you accept? And they said, well, we accept this insurance carrier that is run through Obamacare. Was it higher? Yes, I ended up paying double the premium, but my health to me was more important than the cost. And praise God, I had the finances to do it. So I
Mm-hmm.
simply changed to that one. I simply upped my program and changed to a different health provider through the Obamacare program, so that I can stay with that doctor. Now, everybody's not able to do that. So back to Latoya's question, it does have them in a bad situation where they are limited with the sources that they are able to use. But again, just do the best that you can with other doctors, because there's not just one doctor on these programs. There are several. There are several. So
And
check
I
with.
also, you have to have a good vetting process when it comes to your
Well, that's what
doctor.
Latoya
Like
says.
you have to look at choosing your doctor. You have to interview them seriously. And I'm gonna speak
Be
to what
afraid
Jinx
to
was
ask them
talking
the
about.
hard questions.
You ask the hard question. Jinx said, I sat in the doctor's office for 25 minutes just to inform him he was fired. That's right. He had a terrible bedside manner. So that's one of the things I look for, the bedside manner. Are they being thorough? Are they sticking to protocol and things like that? That's one thing. Like, I was so happy. My primary care was so good to she's so good to me that when I started having issues with my mom, she said, I'm not taking on any new patients, but I'm gonna bring your mom on because she's family. And
Nice.
I love her bedside manner. She's very thorough. And look, if I'm having things going on with my mental, I could call my primary care doctor. She will send that referral right through, and I do not have to wait and look for a therapist and things like that. She refers us right out to where we need to go, and they
Yeah.
follow up. And prime example, yesterday they called me. Now, my mom's phone has been ringing with telemarketers. We've been going through this whole blocking process, right?
Mm.
And so it's sad because the scammers, what they do is they prey on the elderly with Medicare. And they find out who has Medicare. And then they call and they offer them all these things that they don't need, like knee braces and things like that. So her primary care is so good. They called me. They said, Miss Webb, is your mom having knee pains? Because this company called talking about she needs a knee brace. And so they need us to get prior authorization. And I said, no, she hasn't been complaining of pain. She was like, yeah, because if that's the case, then Dr. Nitty wants to refer her to an orthopedic first.
Oh,
Before, but it's a scam.
yeah.
This is how they're scamming.
Yeah.
But I say that to say that is the importance of having a good, thorough doctor.
Yeah. And I would say, going back to like what Latoya said, a lot of people who feels like, their doctor is not giving them that information and they're, that's what they have. Sometimes you just have to, if you go into this doctor by yourself, go with somebody else that's more vocal in a way that, that doctor would probably hear from them. And then if there's no change in it, then you're just going to have to seek, to see if you can find another doctor somewhere else. But go, don't just stick with somebody that's not comfortable with you. And also, that's still not an excuse for you not to go to a doctor. Still, even if you have that doctor that's like, yeah, I don't really care about you, but this is what I'm going to do. You can report a doctor, right? You can report a doctor.
Mm-hmm. See,
It's not.
and the reason why I asked that question is because I worked at a office that was like an indigent office for 7 years, and they had some really great doctors, and then they've had some really bad doctors. And when you come in there to get lab work done, I think when they sit in my chair, they think my chair is the confessional chair. Because baby, I get all kind of confessions, especially if they get an STD panel. I don't need to know why you coming in here to get these tests. I'm just drawing your blood. That is all. But a lot of times they would come in and complain about, they just went and seen this doctor and they said this, this, and this, and they felt like they wasn't listening to them,
Yeah.
or they really didn't, get to the bottom of what was going on. And I would tell them, there's other doctors in this office that you can ask them to transfer you to another doctor, or there are other locations. You may have to just take that extra drive and go to a different location to see a better doctor. But I would always tell them, if you leave here and you feel like nothing was done or you were hurt, go somewhere else. Don't let this doctor's perception or what they did or did not do make it be like, oh, I'm just going to leave it alone. No, go somewhere else. There's other locations.
The
Yeah.
doctors be mad at me because I come with a list of questions. Okay, because not before I even get to the appointment, I'm doing my own research
There you go.
and stuff like that,
Exactly.
so I can formulate my questions. Because when I walk out of there, I'm gonna be clear. And if
And
I'm not, that mean I need a second opinion.
ask Juice. I called her and put her on the phone when I was at the chiropractor office. I said, Regina, is there anything else you want to ask him?
But see, and I'm also lucky enough where like one of my very good friends is a registered nurse, and then I have access to nurses and pharmacists at my job. So
Yeah,
you
that's
know what I
good.
mean.
Hmm.
Especially when it comes to medication. Yeah, don't be playing with no medication. I don't
Yeah,
play
I'm
with that.
Right.
you said about referrals, Naughty. I don't wait for my doctor to give me a referral. I will call up a specialist and make my own appointment.
Me
Hmm.
too. Because if you wait for them to call you, you'll be waiting forever.
Now
This
my
is
doctor
importance
said
of being. This is what you call being proactive in your own
right,
healthcare, being your own
right.
advocate. It's
Hmm.
important.
Yes.
Gone are the days where we let the doctors tell us about our bodies that we live with on a
Hmm.
regular basis. You
Hmm.
understand? And people
Yeah.
have to remember, doctors are just making educated guesses, okay? And if their process is not thorough, if they're not doing blood work and running the proper tests and things like that,
Yeah.
how can they come up with an accurate conclusion? So if you didn't go through those proper protocols, blood work, test, ultrasound,
Hmm.
MRI, whatever you need, so that he could come up with a conclusion for a diagnosis, you need to question your doctor's protocol.
And a
Yeah.
lot of times, it's not the doctor; it's the insurance company that is blocking what the doctor is trying to do. Because when
Yes.
my spine first started hurting, my doctor um, ordered an MRI. Well, the insurance said no; she needs to go to physical therapy first. So Dr. Murphy was like, "Well, how am I send her to physical therapy and tell them what to work on if I don't know what the problem is?" So he
Exactly.
was
There you
like, okay, I'm gonna play their game. He said, go to physical therapy one time. After you go, call me. And then I'm gonna reorder it because they didn't say how many times you had to go. They just said you had to go. And he
Yeah.
did that and he reordered it and they approved it.
Well,
Yeah.
I see it all the time, Latoya. Look, y'all think the Democrats and the Republicans are the biggest gangs. The insurance companies are the biggest gangsters. And I see it all the time. They try to dictate whether you should have a medication or whether you not, or well, this is not medically necessary. Oh, well, you need to try these three drugs before you can get approved for this drug. You know what I mean? And I see people get sick behind those tactics. They're having
Right.
bad reactions, but the insurance company will force them, oh, you got to try and fail these three brands before we'll approve you for this one.
And
Yeah.
and the person that's making that decision is not even a doctor, it's a nurse practitioner.
Yes.
Ooh.
Or sometimes just a RN. And it's like, how are you going to override what a medical doctor is asking for? When my neurosurgeon ordered another MRI, they tried to come at him the same way, and he's like, "You're a RN. How are you going to go against me? And I'm a neurosurgeon."
Wow.
Exactly. Aaron
Like
D said
he
very
went
true,
toe to
Nadi.
toe with
I see
them.
that
He
all
went
the
toe to toe.
Yeah, Aaron D said very true, Nadi. I see that all the time. Now I know for Aaron and I, we both work in pharmaceutical.
Hi,
So
Erin.
we see it all. I'm talking people that need life sustaining medication. The insurance company be like, nope. You need
Let me give you a
this
perfect
year. Look,
example.
last year it didn't require prior authorization. This year it requires prior authorization. You know what
Right.
I mean? And
Hmm.
and I deal with a lot of abrasion from doctors' offices like that. And a lot of times they think it's us. It's the insurance companies that's
It
forcing it.
is. And me and Justin just, oh my God, this week, Regina, don't get mad. But my son, he has ADHD, and me and him, we're very open about it. We researched it. He knows about it. He's one of those kids to where he knows. He calls it my "make me better" medicine. He actually writes it on the top of the bottle. It's called "Make Me Better," so he needs it to help him focus and stuff during school. So I text his doctor saying he needed a refill. Send it to Kroger. It's on back order. Okay, well, there's another Kroger on the other side of town have it. Called over there. It's on back order. Okay,
Oh,
well, let me call CVS to see if they have it. So this particular CVS, they had just enough to fill it, right? So I got the
yeah.
doctor to send it to the CVS. Send it to CVS. Mind you, my son's been out all week. Went last night to get the prescription at CVS. first they told me it's on back order. I'm like, but I got a text saying it was ready. Then he went back and looked at it. Oh, well, they're saying it's still too soon. How is it feel too soon when he's been out all week? Needless to say, my son still don't have his medication.
Wow. And that's the games they play. Refill too soon. And
Yes.
a lot of people don't know, like, when you go on vacation, if you have medication that you need to take with you on vacation, you should really have the doctor write a specific prescription for those vacation doses so that it
Oh,
doesn't
really?
interfere with your active prescription.
Oh,
You
I didn't know
understand?
that.
So it
Hmm.
doesn't take away for your refills, so you don't get into trouble when it comes to you reordering your medication. Whenever you have specific medication, just go to your prescribing doctor, let them know you're going on vacation, have them write that prescription out for vacation doses so that when you submit it to the insurance, they have exceptions for vacation. They do.
Oh, wow. I did
They do.
not know that.
So it
Mm-mm.
doesn't interfere with your active prescription, because what happens is if you try to fill that script and get more than what that script is, or you try to fill it early, they block it, and it
Hmm.
causes problems for you going forward.
Yeah. And Nadi, like you were saying also, about prescriptions and, and these medications, a lot of us, your doctor will say you need to get on this prescription, but you really have a choice. Because I remember my doctor told me, she says, well, oh, you're pre-diabetic. Let me give you some diabetic medicine. And I was like, hold on, wait a minute. I said, you said pre, right? She was like, yeah. I said, okay, let me Google what I need to do to control this sugar so I don't become full-blown diabetic. And so I said, let me not get on these pills right now. I said, or whatever prescription you have, let's just wait. So I asked the doctor, I said, what can I do to do a prevention? And she said, oh, well, here, let me tell you this. But the first thing she was trying to do was put me on the medicine.
That's
And
the first thing they go to.
I had to voice up and say, no, I don't want to do that. What else can we do instead of the medicine? And then she said, okay, well, you can do this. Try this for a while. And we go in every 3 months and do our blood work, my husband and I. And I
Mhm.
requested that because, again, I still want to know what my blood work is. I don't want to wait 6 months or a year because a lot can change. But you don't have to get on these medicines. They wanted to put my husband on insulin. And I told my husband, I said, no, I said, we're not doing that. I said, no, we're not doing it. I said, because you giving yourself injections. And then I have heard the stories about insulin. Once you get on, it's hard to get off. And
Mhm.
that some of it can have. So we said, no, we're not doing it. And so my husband, never got on it. We changed our diet. We started doing exercise. We watch what we drink, as far as like all the sodas and all the stuff with the sugars. We read labels. And praise God, my husband was able to get off of one of the blood sugar pills that he was on.
Mhm.
Did it all without the insulin,
And
So
people
you can
have to
let the
understand a
doctor
lot of
know.
times when they prescribe you these medications, it causes other effects down the line. Like, you were pre-diabetic. Say you started that medication, you'll become a full-blown diabetic. A lot of times I just feel like
Mm-hmm.
um they put you on medication to put you on more medication because they know it's going to lead to other ailments. I remember Dr. Oz had a panel with the pharmaceutical companies,
Yeah.
Big Pharma and everything. And he asked them straight up, do you guys create diagnosis and create medication so that people can remain sick? Because it's a big business.
Oh, it
Yep,
Okay.
that's what they
As
say.
long as people are
And
sick, they want to
Congress
make
is in
money.
cahoots with them.
That's why it's very important that you speak to your doctor before they put you on a prescription. Ask them if they can give you some time to do some changes in your life, and some of the doctors will. Like my doctor, I told her, okay, let me do some changes in my life before you put me or try to prescribe me this blood sugar medicine. I said, let me do some changes. And I did those changes. And praise God, I've never been on anything for, my sugar. So, you could talk to your doctor first. But again, a lot of these doctors, I think some of these doctors, I don't know how true it is, but I think they get something back.
They
Or
do.
They do
I'm
kickback.
telling you as a fact, being in the healthcare business for 15 years, on all sides of it, they do get something on the back end.
It's called
Um,
kickbacks, which
yes,
are mainly
Congress,
illegal, but they
Congress
do it
gets
anyway.
Yep, Congress gets money on the back end because Congress have a lot of stock in some of these pharmaceutical
Pharmaceutical.
companies, so that's why they push it. That's why the yellow man, that's why he was pushing the actually it's the lupus medication I'm on. It's the brand name is Plaquenil, but the generic is hydrochloroquine. That's why he
Mm,
was pushing that during COVID because he had stake in the company.
that's
And
crazy.
at first, I was like, well, shoot, maybe he onto something because I'm on this medicine and it decreases your autoimmune system, so you're susceptible to get anything. Like if a common cold could put me in the hospital because my particular lupus affects my muscles, my joints, my
Oh,
blood vessels, my heart, and my lungs. So a
oh,
cold can give me pleurisy and could have me in the hospital, like on a breathing machine, not a breathing machine, but getting like the nebulizer treatment. So I
mm.
have to be like really careful. Like when COVID was a blessing for me because when COVID hit, I no longer had to do one-on-one patient care.
All right.
I end up going to the background. So that was kind of a blessing for me. But I was like, well, maybe, the yellow man owned to something because I'm on hydrochloroquine and I haven't gotten it yet. But it was like when I end up going back to work part time that time, boom, I got it. I'm like, oh Lord, I spoke too soon.
Oh my good, not the yellow man. I love Erin's comment. Erin, she's so sweet. She said a lot of drugs are on back order. It breaks my heart every day. She said their insulin, ADHA drugs, pain medication, heart medications on back order. Some days I come and cry. Oh,
When I
Erin.
when I tell you Justin, like his heart dropped. He was like, Mom, I have a test tomorrow. So I had to give him one of his old ADHD drugs that he hasn't taken in a while, just so he can have something in him to help him focus.
Calm down
And
and
it makes me mad because I feel like I'm messing up his system because we finally got the medicine that works for him to where it helps him focus and it doesn't make him lose his appetite because the medicine that I took him off of, he didn't like it because he wouldn't eat. And your son trying to gain weight. He's trying to get buff out here in these streets.
mhm,
So we finally
mhm.
found the one that it let him keep his appetite and it helped him focus. But this is the particular one that they're out of. But for some reason in my spirit last night, I felt as though they didn't want to, they told me what they needed to tell me because they didn't want to feel it because they were ready to go home.
Oh,
Because you
wow.
started off telling me that it was on back order. No, first you started off telling me it was out of stock. Then when I went on the app and saw what it really said was that it was filled too soon, I said, "Hey, on the app, it doesn't say it's out of stock. It said it's filled too soon. But how is it filled too soon when he's been completely out and we've been trying to find it?" Then he went back, I guess, talked to the pharmacist, came back. Oh, it's on back order. Well, which one is it? Because you told me three different stories. I could tell me the truth. Do you not want to feel it because y'all ready to go home?
Well, I have a prescription that my doctor prescribed me for the arthritis, even though I don't think I need it because I don't feel no pain in my knees. I just felt it that one day. But there's an ointment that she prescribed for me, and it's been on back order for a few weeks now.
If you
You
don't
know,
go to Walmart and get you some Tiger Balm,
but I don't have no pain, so I'm not one for putting on ointment if I don't have no pain. So
oh, you don't have pain anymore. Okay.
I don't have the pain, so I'm just okay, whatever, you know.
Yeah,
But I
that's me. And when I go to the doctor, like when I tell them like I'm hurting or whatever, the first thing I tell them is, what can you do to treat me without giving me narcotics? Because I do not want narcotics. I need
yeah,
an alternative treatment because I don't like I take enough pills as is. You saw the picture I sent y'all. I
I
take enough pills as is. I don't want no narcotics and I don't like how they make me feel.
I love it. Sin City said, my doctor is a Jewish gangster. He does not take no for an answer. That's who my doctor was, Sin City, a Jewish
That's what I'm
doctor.
talking about. You need you a gangster who's gonna go to bat for you,
Yeah.
especially with these insurance companies and
Yeah,
stuff.
my doctor
Because
was a Jewish doctor too. He was like, "No, we doing this test. I don't care if my license is at stake. I don't care if your insurance don't cover it. We doing this." Hey, Nikki, Niqua. Hey,
And they
Niqua.
not gonna do that for the doctor's medication. 9 times out of 10, if the doctor pushes it, they'll do it. There's loopholes.
Yeah, yeah. But I love that Nadi had this conversation on her panel. I love that. Niqua said, "That's how I feel about the pills. I refuse to take pills for my fibromyalgia." Oh wow. Oh wow.
Mhm.
Sin City said, "Great show. Nikki Kim delivers Latoya B and you. Thank you. Listen,
Thank you.
I
Sis, you
love
need to go back and look at the live when we was talking about Waldo.
oh my goodness. Hey Niqua. Thank you, Niqua. Niqua says Juice Radio. Hello, hello, beautiful. Hey Niqua. I love it.
No,
Yeah,
we were all talking about our experiences, with divorce and narcissism and narcissists. We were just all talking about that, getting different perspectives on how they are and how they try to have their whole game plan each day is just to suck the life out of other people because they're so empty, but it's still not gonna work for you.
yeah. Well, I love that Nadi's talking about this, and I hope she does more on this as far as like women's health and everything. I
Yes.
love that she's talking about, fibroids and basing it, from her own story and sharing. That's when it's easier to share a story when it's based on your own life
Yes.
and you take the knowledge that you have and share it with others. I love that.
Yes.
Sin City says, I've had him for 36 years. Okay, your doctor, I love it. See, that's a good
Mhm.
doctor. Yes.
Yes. My doctor when he first came, I met him. He came to the office I was working at, and he had just started out. So when he just started out, I became his patient. So I was his patient, and I also worked with him. And even after I left there, I'm still there. I told him, wherever you go, I'm going. When you leave, make sure you let me know.
Oh, wow. I know. Oh, Sin City, she said, I too have fibromyalgia big time. Wow.
You know that fibromyalgia, lupus, arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, all of that is so big in Black
It is.
people, and
Mhm.
I really want to know why.
I don't know. It's probably just beautiful melon skin. I don't know what
But
it
you
is.
would think it would protect us from all of that stuff. I think it's in the food. I really do.
I don't know. Aaron said, love we all trying to take care of each other, sharing our knowledge and experiences. That's right, Aaron. And Aaron, like she's in the medical industry too. Hey, Jinx Taylor.
Aaron? Do y'all have Focalin on back order at Walmart?
Oh goodness, I cannot. Jinx Taylor said, "This is a good topic, Nadi. I thank you ladies for sharing the information. Thank you." And Niqua says, "Sensity, when you first find a doctor who you trust, is best to stay with me." Yes.
hmm And
Mhm.
the older doctor, Dr. Ferris Johnson, he's a Black doctor. My doctor he's not Indian and he's not Arabian, but he looks like both of them. I don't know. I've never asked him his nationality, but Dr. Ferris Johnson, he was the one that firstly started the practice. He's an older Black guy, and he sees mostly adults, but he sees children sometimes. And but my doctor, Dr. Murphy, doesn't see children at all. So when my brother, my little brother, he was in the 7th grade, he started having like gastrointestinal issues, and his
Oh,
pediatrician wasn't getting to the bottom of what was going on, and he had started losing so much weight, and
oh,
it got to the point to where he was like not boo booing boo boo, it was boo booing blood, and that like we could not figure out what was
that's
going
a
on.
major problem.
So
That's
I
a
went
mhm.
Yes, I went to Dr. Johnson and I said, "Hey, this is what's going on with my brother. Like, will you take him on as a patient for me, please?" And he was like, "Yes, of course." He was like, "Bring me over all of the labs and all of his records and stuff." And he got him in the next day. And when he seen him, he immediately admitted him into the hospital and ran all of these tests and come to find out my brother has Crohn's.
Now, see, and that's
Wow.
another important part. That's another important part. If you see any blood or any red stool or any red urine, immediately go and have that checked, you guys. Because my father had male breast cancer. And
Wow.
one of the things that happened, part of the symptom was there was blood in his urine. So you guys, let me tell you, go and check. And I love what Niqua said. She said, I did not know, I did not have these problems until I took the COVID shot. Let me tell you, that's why it is very important to go and get checked out from your doctor, have physicals, have blood work, have routine checkups and everything, especially after us who did these COVID shots, because it can change some things within the blood and the blood work and all of that stuff is meant to protect your body from the viruses, but also you have to make sure that if you have any reactions to it within your body, you won't know if you don't have your doctor to check. So she's right. I took my all my boosters and my COVID shot and everything, and had been menopausing and did not have a menstrual years before I took the COVID shot. And as soon as I took my third booster, I think it was, I got a menstrual.
What?
Yeah, I got a menstrual. I went to the doctor and said, I'm bleeding. And my doctor's like, okay, wait, we're going to do some tests. We're going to do some tests. We check. And he says, I don't know what to tell you. He says, I'm a medical doctor, so I can't say what I really know this is. He says, however, he says, don't worry. Once this goes away, you should not continue to have a cycle. So I had a cycle for 5 days and then it went away. So
Wow.
attributed to the COVID
And,
vaccine.
and see, with me having lupus, I can't get any vaccination that is a live virus.
Oh, hi
So
Shay
I
B.
so I did my MMR the test to see if you when you get a new job you have to do that to see if you're still immune, and it showed that I wasn't immune to rubella and mumps anymore, but I can't get the vaccine for it because they're live viruses.
Mm. Oh my God, Niqua. She said she ended up with a heart issue. Oh
Oh my
no.
god.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. Shaby says, I was diagnosed with chronic fatigue syndrome over 10 years ago. I was tested for the Epstein-Barr virus, which came from having extended mono 2 times. Like,
See,
What?
my thing, see, the problem I have with that is typically when you get mono, um, they check you for mono and the Epstein Barr virus at the same time. Well, at the offices that I have worked at, or if you have tested positive for mono and you come back in and you still have symptoms, that's the first thing that they test you for. So, how long, when you say extended mono, like how long was your mono?
And prayers to you, Shay B. Prayers to you through that whole process. Wow. That's something. Sin says she's had fibromyalgia for over 15 years.
Wow. And fibromyalgia is one of the hardest ones to diagnose because there's no blood test for it.
Wow. Wow. Yeah.
wow. And I hear it's
Yeah,
very painful.
it is. And it's hard. It's hard because doctors, they rule out everything else. And then once they have no other answer, then they basically rule it as fibromyalgia because there's no test for it, which is crazy.
Mm,
Ooh, I don't think
mm.
I would feel comfortable with that without a test. You understand? Like, don't
Right.
diagnose
That's
me.
why it's important for women to share their stories with other women, because then you say, well, I had this symptom, this is what I was feeling, and this is what ended up I was diagnosed with. That's why it's important to share what our symptoms were. Like me with my back pain. Whenever I hear somebody say they have back pain, I immediately tell them, go get checked for fibroids. Go get
Regina,
checked.
is your finger closed up all the way?
Yeah, but not all the way. It's just a little bit still left, just a little bit.
Okay. Because
And
do you have that on all day or just half of the day?
my husband keeps putting this on. He's my
You need
intern.
The area.
you need to let it breathe, like especially at night. Like you can wear it during the day and at night, don't put anything on it and let it
Oh,
breathe, and that'll let it heal up faster.
and I'm gonna let him know because he was like, "No, mommy, cover it. I don't want to get it infected." No, he keeps putting my band. I'm gonna let him know. Lady said we just had a whole medical talk on here. Lady said my finger needs to get some air. He even went out yesterday and got a liquid Band-Aid that he put on there, liquid Band-Aid. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, sweetie. He put the liquid Band-Aid, put the regular Band-Aid, and put this on. And I'm like, okay,
No,
sweetie.
if you put the liquid Band-Aid, you don't need the other Band-Aids. It's not
Girl,
getting any air.
It needs air.
call him. You got to call him because I'm stuck like this all day long.
Tell my brother Clovis. I said your nurse said that he needs to let it breathe, so he can cover it up during the day, but at night you need to let it breathe and let it get some air because it probably would have closed up by now all the
It
way.
probably would
Yeah.
have.
So,
It probably
yeah,
would have.
I just had an injury when I was moving. A
Oh no.
dolly hit a bump and ran into the back of my ankle and
Mm.
feet. But yeah, no, I had to let it just the air hit it so it can get that hard crust
Okay.
over it to protect it. And I couldn't wear sneakers for about a couple weeks. But what really sealed it up
Ooh,
is when I went to the beach and got in the ocean, that
that's it.
salt water.
But you know what? You got to be careful with that, Naughty. You because when you go to the ocean with an open wound, it can be like a little scrape. It can be a paper cut. They tell you do not get in the ocean water because they have flesh eating bacteria, and that's all they need is a little piece of cut for it to get into. And it can spread. They just had a girl had her leg amputated last week because she had like a little small cut on her leg from shaving, and she went into the beach and she got a flesh eating bacteria in her leg and she had to get her leg amputated. So
Oh,
people, if you have wounds, whether it's a paper cut, a scrape, a big wound or whatever, do not go in the ocean
ocean,
water.
and they say pools too. Don't get in pools, but
Yes.
it had it had healed to the point where you know what I'm saying it wasn't open anymore. So that's why
Okay,
Okay.
that's the
I was
difference.
Okay.
Thank you.
I was
Sin City,
uh,
you can always tell me whatever. She said, Juice, I wanted to say something, but I'm minding my business. Please, I'm listen, I'm open. I'm just like, you can sit at the table and tell me anything. I take criticism, I take comments, I take love, I take that all. So please, in the future, say, girl, Juice, what you doing? What? Take the See, I'm not even gonna take it off until I go in there and talk to my husband because he'll be like, why you take that off? He's so like,
And tell them because your sister said so.
girl, he is. But thank you
exactly.
so much, Sin City. Thank
And
you.
ladies, don't be afraid to explore herbal options. Let me tell you. There's a lot of herbs out there. It may take a little bit longer to work. It's not fast like medicine, but it's a
Yeah.
lot of herbs out there that can help heal you. It really is.
Mhm.
And I'm all about the natural journey.
Yeah, and the
Herbs,
herbs don't have
essential
those
oils.
side effects. You don't have those side effects like Latoya saying the essential oils. My husband and I, we no longer take headache medicine, headache pills. We found a beautiful oil shop in Alabama. I get my stuff shipped to me here in Georgia, and we just put the oil on our temples and on our wrists. No headaches. Pain medicine. We have. She also has a pain ointment that you put on where the pain works so good.
It,
Regina, you remember not remember, but Monique from Real Housewives of Potomac, she has an amazing essential oil line and she breaks it down on what you use it for,
Yeah,
like the mix
she's
you
big on
use
that.
it for. Yes.
Yeah, girl, I get mine right on Amazon. Good old Amazon.
I get my
Good
herbs
old
from Amazon.
Amazon. Or either my girl over there in Alabama. I'm telling you. And the
Yeah.
lady in Alabama, she's a chemist. She went to college for chemistry. So
Mm.
she makes all of it herself, and everything she has is natural. She says she don't put all that other stuff in her stuff because that's her, that's her background.
Why you
And a
ain't
lot of
put me
pain
on to that?
medications, you gotta realize a lot of
I'll
pain
send it to you.
medications affect your liver
Your liver and your kidneys.
and your
Oh
kidneys.
wow.
And your stomach. If you're a person that takes a lot of medication, you need to take like Prilosec, something like that, along with your medication to help protect and coat your stomach.
Yeah, I'm
Mm,
just not big on medication at all. I always try to find a herbal remedy to combat it. I mean, I had to be on blood pressure medication at one point in time, but I was determined. I got my diet together, I got my lifestyle together, and
that's it.
everything, and I was able to get off that medication because I feel like a lot of medications they take away your body's natural ability to heal itself, and once
Hmm.
Hmm.
your body becomes dependent on it, you need it.
Right. And see, with me, like high blood pressure is a complication from the lupus, and I have to take two. Um, and it's like it's not like I have like before I got diagnosed, I never had high blood pressure, none of that. It was like when I got diagnosed with lupus, that was a complication from it. I have to carry a rescue inhaler because of the lupus, because sometimes I get short of breath. If I'm around somebody and they have a strong perfume, or it's like a strong like Clorox, like any strong smell, it'll literally take my breath away.
Yep. Yep. I hear you. Well, ladies, this was a great, great show. I'm glad. Thank you, Sin
It
City. She encouraged me.
was.
Since
I enjoyed it.
She encouraged me to do it. I said, yeah, tomorrow we're going to have a story time. We took a nice walk this morning. We went up to the garden and everything. And I just think we need to have more platforms like this where we're talking about these conversations so that people know how or people are confident when they're taking care of their health care and going into the doctor's office. We're helping create conversation so people can challenge the doctors, I appreciate you, ladies. Please make sure y'all go over to Juice Radio and Talk Show and subscribe. She just dropped the link.
We
Juice,
got church news tonight.
Yes.
Oh, I was dropping the link to the Beehive Bathhouse in Alabama. It's in Hartselle, Alabama, for those of you. You can Google Beehive Bathhouse, and she has great, great products. She also has soaps and everything, natural stuff. It's beautiful. But I have not dropped my link. I don't do that unless I get permission, but I know Naughty doesn't mind. But y'all go and check out.
I don't mind. It's
On
enough
Talk
for us
Show.
to
Yeah.
go around, Juice. Look at this.
Yes, it is. And Latoya, yeah, we got church news tonight. Y'all come on, let's have some conversations here. But Naughty, I really appreciate you. I appreciate what you're doing. Continue to pray your channel grow, grow, grow. You are reaching the masses. That's what I'm going to pray in Jesus' name. And you are reaching them on all four corners, girl. You are not stuck to one corner. You're going to go over there and get them in the hip hop rap world. You're going to get them over there in the church world. You're going to get them over there in the health world. You're going to get them over there in that love world. You're going to get them on all four corners. I love it. And I love your viewers also. And thank you so very much for having this very needed conversation on your panel. I appreciate it.
It doesn't have to end here. We're going to come back. I want people to come and share their stories and share their journeys. We have to have conversation amongst women.
Let's do a Women Health Wednesday.
We could do that. We could do that, Juice. We could do that.
Absolutely. Let me know. I am all for it. I really do appreciate it. And thank you all so very much. And I'm so happy now that Sin City is going to be she's going to be my watchful eye for me. She's going to be like, Juice, now go and get that check. Now go and get that
check. And we touched on a lot. We didn't touch on just the fibroids. We also talked about going through a divorce and how it's a very high emotional time and it can be very dangerous for us doing it. You understand? We touched on that too.
I got two stories of that one. So yes, we're going to have more of these conversations. Thank you so much.
I'm going to open it up because let's talk about it. So people know how to move. And my good sis Latoya, she getting all her ducks lined up, honey. Okay, she ready.
Yeah, you better get ready. You better get ready.
This comeback. Woo-wee!
Yes, Shay-B, probiotics are good, especially women of a certain age.
Yes. I take my probiotics. That's the one thing I will take. Probiotics, vitamins.
Yeah.
All right. Love y'all. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you, beautiful
Aaron. I see you.
Bye, Shay-B and everybody. Nikwa, listen, Sin City, everybody. I love y'all. And thank you again, Naughty. Y'all have a blessed day. All right.
Bye.
Bye, Toya. Bye, Naughty.
I hope you have a good day too, sis. This was such a good show. I appreciate every last one of y'all joining me. Please make sure you hitting that like, subscribe, and that bell button because we have good, tough conversations over here. And this is why I created my platform because I love to gain different perspective. And you never know, you may walk away with some growth. And that's the whole point of this platform. So make sure you go over to the Juice Radio and Talk Show and subscribe. And to all my haters.
And I wanna say thank
thank you in case I don't thank you enough. I love y'all too. Y'all keep the wheels turning over here too. Until next time, Naughty Crew, I'm out. One.